Fernando Rodriguez. As Rodriguez on the mound for his second inning of work, and here in inning number 2 for the Ports, it'll be 5, 6, 7, Myron Leslie, John McCurdy, and David Castillo. Again, in the first inning, Stockton Ports with 2 hits, but nothing to show for it, as Petit tried to stretch a single into a double, and he was absolutely hosed at the bag at second. And Robnett after a double left stranded after Everett struck out looking. So again, still scoreless, 2 hits for the Ports, and here in the second, it'll be Leslie, McCurdy, and David Castillo. So Myron Leslie to lead things off. He comes in batting .263, 5 home runs, 25 RBIs. First pitch on the way. And a breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Myron Leslie. And Fernando Rodriguez with a 1-0 pitch. Tried the outside corner, missed a bit low again, and the count 2-0 to Leslie. Here's the wind and the 2-0 pitch. And a called strike at the outside corner, now 2-1. And Stockton Ports have already equaled their hit total from yesterday. There's a swing and a drive to left, but right at Drew Toussaint, the left fielder, puts it away for 1 down here in the second. And that'll bring up the DH, John McCurdy. As McCurdy digs in here for Stockton, had a good batting practice today. I was watching him a little bit earlier. Coming in batting .267, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Again, we'll go over the starting 9 for the Stockton Ports again if you missed the Dr. Pepper pregame show in just a few moments. As Fernando Rodriguez winds and delivers the pitch. There's a shot down the third base side, but that one is hooking foul and out of play, and the count is 0-1 to McCurdy. Well, for the Stockton Ports starting 9 again, leading things off was the right fielder, Luke Appert. Gregorio Petit in the 2-hole and at second. Richie Robnett batting third and in center. Tommy Everidge in the cleanup spot in batting at first base as well. Batting fifth and at third is Myron Leslie. In the 6-hole, of course, at the plate, John McCurdy DHing. Batting seventh and catching is David Castillo. In the 8-hole and at shortstop is Cliff Pennington, moving from the 2 spot to the 8-hole. That one is swung on foul back to the screen. And the count 0-2 to McCurdy. And, of course, batting ninth and in left field, Cameron Coughlin. And he has kind of flip-flopped top and the bottom half of the order pretty much all season long. We talked about the big advantage that provides the Stockton Ports as a team really with leadoff guys at the top half and the bottom half of the order. Here's a swing at a high drive, drifting out towards right field. Coming in, that's going to fall in for a base hit. In front of Cliff Remley, who was playing fairly deep and right off the line as well, and McCurdy will have himself a single. And a 1-out base runner for the Ports is going to bring up the catcher, David Castillo. Castillo batting .241. No home runs and 4 RBIs on the season. And already third hit of the ball game here for Stockton. And that was 1 more than their hit total of all 9 innings in yesterday's 4-1 loss. Again, they did not get a hit until the 8th inning against Jose Orlandondo, who pitched a spectacular ball game in the 4-1 win. Now Fernando Rodriguez in the stretch, looking on to get the signs from Michael Collins. And set at the belt. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, fouled back to the screen, and the count 0-1 here to David Castillo. Again, Castillo still waiting his first home run of the season. This is now his 18th game of the season behind the dish for the Stockton Ports. And Rodriguez set at the belt. Here's the 0-1. And a breaking ball in the outside corner misses a bit low. Has the count even at 1-1 now to David Castillo. Well, we had the big overcast skies last night, but clear blue skies here tonight. This time is called, and stepping out of the batter's box is David Castillo. Another good crowd on hand here at the epicenter as they continue to file into the ballpark. Here's the stretch from the belt, the 1-1, and a swing and a miss. And a good breaking ball to the outside corner. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to David Castillo. And we talked about in the pregame show the stats coming into the ballgame here in 2006 for Fernando Rodriguez, and again coming off a victory back on the 22nd of May against High Desert. Here's the stretch. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first, and McCurdy sliding back in there safely. With 7 1/3 innings of work, giving up 4 earned runs in the victory against the Mavericks. It was in High Desert. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a slow roller to the left side. This could and should be 2. Rodriguez flips to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. 6, 4, 3. Buy 1, get 1 free. It's Rodriguez to Sutton to Lopez. And that'll retire the side here in the second. So nothing doing for Stockton after the 1-out single for McCurdy. They get no runs, 1 hit, no errors. And after the double play, none left as we now head to the last of the second. Here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Still scoreless between the Ports and the Quakes, and back in just a few moments here on 1420 KSDN.
Life can be full of risks. If you're self-employed or an individual, you already know that you take risks every day. But one thing you shouldn't take risk with is your family's health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company to get it now. If you have health insurance, call Mega and see if they can give you better coverage at a better rate. Mega helps tons of small business owners and individuals. You can reach Mega 24 hours a day at 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Don't take risks with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. Without the right health insurance plan, you could be in trouble. For affordable health insurance, call 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Home office, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not available in all states, and benefits may vary by state.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports. Only on 1420 KSDN.
Into the bottom half of the second inning we go. Again, still scoreless between the Stockton Ports and the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Ryan Webb on the mound for his second inning of work and had a flawless first frame as he set Sutton, Remley, and Rodriguez down in order. And again, here in the second, it will be 4, 5, 6, Michael Collins, Pat Riley, and Baltazar Lopez. Here's Michael Collins to lead things off here for the bottom half of the second. And good to see Ryan Webb working quickly and being economical with his pitches. And somebody coming off the DL, missing his last 2 starts with the back problems, but seems to be back to full strength and pitching well so far. Here's Collins ready to dig in, leading things off, batting .316, 3 home runs, 33 RBIs on the season. Again, line score for the Ports, no runs, those 3 hits, no errors. Quakes still no runs, hits, or errors. And really, we go back to last night again in Oronondo with a great effort, but Ports pitching has really improved here during the road trip. And again, you think back to the series finale against Lancaster 2 nights ago. Really, we had the victory in the bag, and then Mother Nature had other intentions with the way the wind was blowing out towards right center. And although Jeff Coleman took the loss, pitched well, but the starter in that game, Mike Matson, giving up just 1 earned run. Again, Ryan Ford last night, another tremendous effort for him despite taking the loss, as he gave up a total of just 1 earned run as well. So just 2 earned runs given up by the 2 starters in the last 2 games total. Hopefully Webb can carry the torch here tonight. There's a called strike at the outside corner. We are underway here for the bottom half of the second. 0-1 to Michael Collins. Here's Webb. Winds and delivers the 0-1 pitch, and a breaking ball misses low and outside as the count is even. Collins batted in yesterday's ball game as well. Had a 1 for 3, raising the average to .316 on this season. Here's Webb with a 1-1 pitch. Swinging a high chop foul third base side, bouncing right near the Quakes dugout and out of play, and the count 1-2 to Collins. Again, Stockton coming out with their gray tops, gray bottoms. Stockton across the chest and the blue hats with the red brims. Quakes coming out white tops, white bottoms, black stripes on the sides, and black sleeves as well. We'll see if the Ports decide to pull out the Sunday black jerseys. They seem to wear those on Sunday afternoons on the road for some reason. We'll see if they decide to wear those tomorrow. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And a breaking ball. This is low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Michael Collins. Dan Riley on deck, and Baltazar Lopez also scheduled to bat in this inning. Here's the 2-2 from the right-hander. Here's a swing and a hot shot right side of the infield. Playable, though, for the second baseman, Gregorio Petit. As he scoops it up, makes the routine throw to first. One up and one down here in the second. And that'll bring up the DH, Pat Riley. As Riley digs in, batting .304 with 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. Riley again in yesterday's ball game as well. Had a quiet 0 for 3, struck out, also walked. His average still a very respectable .304. Here's the first pitch on the way from Webb. There's a bunt third base side. Coming out from behind the plate is Castillo, and he will go to first. Quickly out number 2 on the 2-3. And 2 up and 2 down here in the second as that'll bring up the first baseman, Baltazar Lopez. Lopez batting .289, 1 home run, and 9 RBIs. First time that we've seen Baltazar Lopez in this series here. Did not play last night. Here's the wind and the first pitch on the way. Check swing. And a pitch in the outside corner that misses low. In the count 1-0 here to Lopez. And the catcher, Castillo, flashing the signals to Webb. Webb shaking off the signs. Now time is called. As Lopez quickly steps out of the batter's box. Now digs right back in. Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch. Check swing, but a called strike at the outside corner. The count even at 1-1 to Baltazar Lopez. Here's the wind of the 1-1 pitch. And the breaking ball misses low and outside. 2 balls and a strike to count. We are still scoreless. Bottom half the second, 2 outs, nobody on. Game 2 of this 3-game series at the Epicenter. First of 2 times we'll be here this year for a 3-game set. Here's a 2-1. There's a swing and a high drive. Tipping out towards deep left center field. That'll be a one-hopper off the wall. Grounding first, heading for 2 is Lopez. Here comes the throw. It is not in time. And a 2-out double for Lopez in the first hit of the ball game for Rancho Cucamonga. As they keep the inning alive and now have a duck on the pond in scoring position. As that'll bring up the left fielder, Drew Toussaint. Nicely done there for Baltazar Lopez as he drives that one right off the wall in left center field and didn't miss a home run by much. Certainly had the distance, but not the height. And so a 2-out double keeps things going for Toussaint, who digs in batting .225, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs. Here's Ryan Webb in the stretch, and from the belt, here's the pitch on the way. And the first pitch breaking ball and the called strike in the inside corner. The count is 0-1 to Drew Toussaint. Toussaint as well, also in yesterday's ball game. Batting in the same slot at a 1-for-4 with a second inning single in the 4-1 win for the Quakes. Here's the stretch from Webb, set at the belt, takes a peek at second. Now the 0-1. There's a swing and a high chopper third base side. Leslie has it. He will go to first for the sure out. And that'll retire the side here in the second, so nothing doing after the 2-out double from Baltazar Lopez. They get no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We're through 2 as we head to 3. Still scoreless between the Ports and the Quakes, and back in just a few moments for the third here on 1420 KSDN.
Lucas Business Systems has been delivering results to businesses in California's Central Valley since 1904. Lucas Business Systems personalizes solutions to meet the individual needs of their customers, from the small office to the large multi-user organizations, using the Konica Minolta BizHub product line of multifunctional copiers and printers. They provide your office with advanced document imaging and management solutions. Lucas Business Systems is proud to be the official technology provider of the Stockton Ports and wishes the team the best in Banner Island Ballpark with their affiliate, the Oakland A's.
The Ports love their new home, Banner Island Ballpark, so much that they broke a record from 1947 in the first year. Are you ready for a new home for your team family? Then call Elaine Martinez with Keller Williams Real Estate. With over 10 years of experience, nobody knows the local market better. Whether you're buying or selling, find out more online at thehouseforyou.com. Elaine Martinez with Keller Williams Real Estate. Real estate is not her job, it's her pleasure.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Force. Only on 1420 KSDN.
Okay, we are now through two as we head to the third. Still scoreless between the Stockton Ports and the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. See if Stockton keeps something strung along here in the third. It'll be 8-9-1 to start things off. Cliff Pennington, Cameron Coughlin, and Luke Appert as Cliff Pennington will dig in. Switch hitting shortstop, batting $149 on the season with 1 home run and 10 RBIs. Again, got that first home run of the season just a few games ago. And that was against the Lancaster Jethawks back at Clear Channel Stadium. And batting from the left side against the right-hander, Fernando Rodriguez. Line score hadn't changed a whole bunch. For the Ports, no runs, 3 hits, no errors. For the Quakes, no runs, just a hit and no errors. And that was, of course, the double from Baltazar Lopez in the second. Here's the wind of the first pitch on the way to Cliff Pennington. And that one misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes, and we are underway for inning number 3. Here's the wind of the 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a slow roller to the right side, right to the second baseman, Nate Sutton, on 2 hops. He'll make the quick throw to first, and Pennington is 1 up and 1 down here in the third, as that'll bring up the left fielder, Cameron Coughlin. Coughlin, the switch hitter, also batting .242, no home runs, 13 RBIs on the season. As he digs in. And Fernando Rodriguez quickly in the wind. Here's the first pitch on the way to Coughlin, taking all the way. And a fastball to misses high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count 2. Cameron Coughlin. Here's the wind of the 1-0 pitch, showing bunt. Pulls back as it misses low and away, 2-0. He was in the leadoff spot for the majority of the road trip in Modesto and Lancaster as well, but Luke Appert doing a great job raising the on-base percentage as that pitch a called strike at the outside corner, now 2-1, and has kind of thrusted Appert to the forefront as the leadoff man. But again, putting Coughlin in the 9-hole is like having 2 leadoff guys go back-to-back once you're in the groove of the ball game, and you go an inning like here in the third when you are 8-9-1. As Coughlin bunts it foul, and the count is 2-2 now to Cameron Coughlin. Luke Appert's on-base percentage almost at 400 right now, at 391, which leads the team. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That fastball misses high and outside, and the count running full at 3-2 to Cameron Coughlin. Coughlin also did a nice job getting on base with the 371 on-base percentage, and that is been a number that's been always close to 400 pretty much.
burden of large credit card debt getting too heavy for you to carry alone? Call Debt Relief of America. They are expert debt negotiators that go to work for you to eliminate 50 to 60% of your credit card debt.
Within 3 months, I was debt-free and the collection hassle stopped.
Call now for your free debt relief consultation. There is absolutely no cost or obligation. Call 800-499-4351. 800-499-4351. For good times and great food, come to the Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar in Stockton. You'll love the casual family atmosphere. There's tons of video games for the kids, internet, golf, and your favorite music playing on the jukebox. And the Graduate is a great place to have a party. They have a full menu with items for every taste bud. Hot wings, burgers, awesome pizza, and even salads. So stop by for lunch or dinner. The Graduate Family Restaurant and Bar, 2207 Country Club Boulevard, just east of I-5. To live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
Say, fans, when a ball club is looking to pick up a new player, they search for a proven producer. When you're buying or selling a home, you need a proven producer on your team. Search no further than Home Sweet Home Mortgage and Real Estate. They have a strong knowledge of the market and can help you from start to finish. So for all your real estate and mortgage needs, go with Home Sweet Home Mortgage and Real Estate. Call 209-464-3424 or log on to 209loans.net. Whether you're buying or selling, the name Home Sweet Home says it all.
Listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
Hey fans, tired of standing in lines at your local public swimming pool? Are the local beaches just too crowded? Then it's time to think about having your own pool installed. Barefoot Pools and owner Gordon Johnson can design and build a custom pool at a price that won't leave you feeling soaked. In fact, we've been building pools of distinction since 1974. Summer won't last forever. Now is the time to call Barefoot Pools for your free estimate. Find us in your yellow pages under swimming pools. Barefoot Pools, the best of summer, right in your backyard.
Ryan Leahy and Josh LeBlanc, and then followed off by the leadoff man in second base, batting third in the inning, Nate Sutton. It's Ryan Leahy to lead things off. Digging and batting, 228, no home runs, 9 RBIs. First pitch on the way from Webb is tapped, found down the third base side and out of play, and the count is 0-1 to Ryan Leahy. Still staring at goose eggs. For the Ports, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And for the Quakes, no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Here's the wind of the 0-1 pitch, and a breaking ball misses low and outside, and the count even at 1-1. As Webb looks in, getting the signs from Castillo, now winds and delivers a 1-1 pitch. There's a big swing and a miss. Came inside with the off-speed stuff at 78 miles an hour. Nice job changing of speeds here tonight for Webb. And the count 1-2 now to Ryan Leahy. That's really why, if you look back to Rendondo last night, despite the fact he can get upwards of 96 to 97, very successful was his pitch selection last night because of the changing of speeds that really kept the Ports batters off balance. There's a swing at a high chopper left side, and Pennington tries to take it on a tough hop and does a somersault as he tries to go with his glove side and just completely missed the ball as it bounced over his head in the left field, and that'll be scored a single for Ryan Leahy. Just a real tough ball for Pennington to try to get to and try to make an acrobatic play to barehand it, but could not get to it in time. That'll be scored again. A single for Leahy to start the inning off, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Josh LeBlanc. will be making his series debut here, coming in batting .224 with 1 home run and 13 RBIs. Webb now in the stretch from the belt. Here's the pitch. And the breaking ball with a called strike at the outside corners. The count is 0-1 to Josh LeBlanc. And Webb shaking off the signs. Now gets what he likes from the belt. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And the breaking ball misses outside. Has the count even at a ball and a strike apiece. Second of 3 games here before we head back home, and with a Memorial Day off, and then another series starting at home on Tuesday. Here's a pickoff throw back to first, and again Ryan Leahy getting back in there safely. There's Webb in the stretch, looking in to get the signs. And from the belt, here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Well, right past him on the outside corner. The count is 1-2 now to Josh LeBlanc. At 180 miles an hour on the outside corner. And of course, he gets the fastball upwards of 90 to 91. Got good breaking stuff as well. Here's the stretch and a 1-2 pitch. And there's the slider swung on. He popped up down the left field line. In foul territory behind the bag is Myron Leslie. And he will make the catch and put it away for out number 1 here in the third as it brings up the second baseman, Nate Sutton. Sutton 0 for 1. It is shot back to the first baseman, Tommy Everidge, on the 3-1 in the first. I think, of course, Sutton led off the ball game yesterday. Had a 1 for 3 with the RBI single in the 7th. Batting to the left side against the right-handers. Webb still in the stretch, looking in to get the signs. Castillo setting up on the outside corner in front of the belt. Here's the first pitch. And the fastball at 90 miles an hour on the outside corner misses in the count. 1 ball and no strikes to Nate Sutton. 1 on, 1 down. Ryan Leahy leading off the bag at first. Now here's the 1-0 pitch. Base runner going, swing and a miss. There's the throw from Castillo, right on the money. That'll be out number 2. And again, Stockton sports catchers this season, again, that great percentage. Of course, Landon Powell, we talked about, leading the California League at 61% of base runners thrown out. Well, David Castillo right up there with him. And a great road trip it's been defensively for Castillo. And coming into the road trip, she had over 50% of base runners thrown out for him. And I would have to imagine he is flirting with 60%. We'll have the exact numbers for you momentarily. But here's the 1-1. There's a swing and a high drive out towards deep right field. And that one is going to fly away. A solo home run from Nate Sutton here in the bottom half of the third inning. And for the second straight game, the Quakes jump up on the scoreboard first. They take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the third. And that was a no doubt about it to right field for Nate Sutton. And for Sutton, his second home run of the season. And a solo blast again, 1-0 your scores. That'll bring up the right fielder, Cliff Remley. And if anything else, you can, I guess, look on the bright side and know that Leahy was caught stealing of what would have been a 2-run home run. But a solo shot nonetheless, so 1-0 Quakes. And as Remley digs in, he is 0 for 1. Here's the wind and the first pitch on the way. There's a swing and a foul ball, third base side. And that'll find its way into the seats and out of play, and the count is 0-1 to Cliff Remley. Both teams with 3 hits apiece, but one of those 3 hits for Rancho is the solo home run. This is the early lead here in the second of 3 games as Webb is back in the wind. He kicks and fires an 0-1 pitch. And a called strike in the outside corner with a fastball, and the count is 0-2. On deck is the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. He had the home run to get things started for the Quakes last night. That one is poked foul, first base side out of play, and the count 0-2 to Cliff Remley. No balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 outs. Again, 1-0 your score. Ryan Webb, the right-hander in the line. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just misses on the outside corner with a fastball. And the count 1-2 to Cliff Remley. And we talked yesterday about how Remley hitting on a tear of close to 500 in his last 5 ball games coming into the series. There's a big slider, Mrs. Lowen, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the Quakes right fielder. Of course, Ryan Webb coming into the ball game in ERA at just 3.23, which has put him up among the leaders pretty much all season long. Here's the 2-2. That fastball misses low, and the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Cliff Remley. And the full count, 2-out pitch. Ryan Webb winds and fires, and here it is. Misses outside, and a 2-out walk has been issued to Remley. Here's the first walk of the game issued from Ryan Webb. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez, 0 for 1. He flew out to the center fielder, Richie Robnett, to end the first in his first at-bat. And again, he was the one last night, much like Nate Sutton here tonight, that started things off with a solo shot to get the Quakes on the scoreboard. Coming into the ballgame, batting a shade under 300 at 297. That home run now has 8 shots on the season with 29 RBIs. Webb again back in the stretch from the belt. Here's the first pitch. Here's a swing, a line drive base hit to left field. Stopping at second will be Remley. So a 2-out single for Rodriguez, and that'll put 2 on with 2 outs and brings up the catcher, Michael Collins, who was 0 for 1. He grounded out the second baseman, Gregorio Petit, in the second. No time is called as the catcher, David Castillo, out there quickly talking with Ryan Webb. He's done a really nice job handling the pitching staff here on the road trip, has David Castillo. And when you take a look at the performances that we've had, again, the last 2 nights with the starters, Mike Madsen 2 games ago and Ryan Ford last night giving up just 1 earned run apiece. At some point, you got to start giving credit where credit is due to the catchers. As Castillo did a nice job handling the staff, and of course, we've seen what Landon Powell is capable of as well, and just a couple of really good catchers here on the active 25-man roster for the Ports. Here's the stretch. And the pitch, and a first pitch slider misses low and away as the count 1 ball and no strikes to Michael Collins. Two on, 2 out. At second is Remley. First is Rodriguez. And Webb finally gets a pitch he likes here from Castillo. Now from the belt. 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a shot to right center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Getting waved around is Remley. He's going to come home fairly easily. Stopping at first is Collins. But he has himself a 2-out RBI single as the Quakes have now taken a 2-0 lead here in the bottom half of the third. Nicely done there from Michael Collins, and went the opposite way with a pitch of the outside corner, drove into right center field. And again, that puts the Quakes on top 2-0 with runners at the corners and 2 outs, and brings up to the plate the DH, Pat Riley. Pat Riley is 0 for 1. Trying to lay down a bunt. Castillo did a nice job coming out from behind the plate to fire down to first. Now pitching coach Scott Emo Emerson out there on the mound talking with Ryan Webb, and as he does that, I'll take this time to thank some sponsors that have made this broadcast possible. I want to thank Best Western. For 60 years, you've included Best Western in your family's summer vacation. To say thanks, the Best Western Hotels of California are offering you a limited edition $50 Best Western travel card and up to 20% off your stays with our Best Western baseball fan rate. Experience the best summer with the Best Western Hotels of California. For more information, visit bestwesternbaseball.com or call 866-743-8738. That's Best Western, proud sponsors of your Stockton Ports. Again, Riley digs in. At third base, Rodriguez. At Collins at first, again after a pair of two-out singles. And an RBI for Collins as well. Here's the pitch. And misses low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Pat Riley. The 2 outs, outfitters are playing back and straight away. Quakes now with 2 runs on 5 hits here in the bottom half of the third. Here's the 1-0. Here's a swing and a chop foul. And the play and the count even at 1-1 now to the Quakes designated hitter. Webb had retired the first 5 in order, and 6 of his first 7 batters coming into the third inning. It's been a bit of a longer inning for him. Here's the stretch and the 1-1. That one misses outside, and the count 2 balls and a strike now to Pat Riley. After giving up the single to Ryan Leahy to start off the inning, Leahy was eventually caught stealing, but then after a block flew out, it was a solo home run from Sutton, a walk to Remley, a single to Rodriguez, and now a single to Collins. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and blew it right past him on the outside corner with a fastball. And the count even at 2-2 now to Pat Riley. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third. We'll see if Webb can put him away right here. Right-hander set at the belt. Here's the 2-2. First he faked a third look at first move. Both base runners getting back to the bags successfully. As we have just now crossed the 8 o'clock hour here on 1420 AM KSTN Stockton. Here's the stretch from the belt. 2-2 pitch. Swung on chop foul first base side, and the count still leaving it 2-2. Again, runners still at the corners here, and see what Webb decides to come back with against Pat Riley. He's been pretty effective this season with the slider as an out pitch, especially with a 2-2 count in front of the belt. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And there is the slider, misses low and in, and base runner going without a throw there. Michael Collins, an uncontested stolen bases. That'll put runners at second and third. Both in scoring position as the count running full at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Pat Riley. So a base hit could really blow this game wide open, and hopefully Ryan Webb can put him away right here. Real big payoff pitch on the way. From the belt, here it is. Backdoor breaking ball, and that one just misses on the outside corner. Ryan Webb thought that was a called strike 3, as he was already heading back towards the Stockton Porch dugout. But that'll load him up with Quakes here, with still 2 outs as it brings up the first baseman, Baltazar Lopez. And, of course, Lopez had the double in the second inning. Was later stranded after Drew Toussaint grounded out to end the frame. But he's got a big opportunity right here. Again, bases loaded with 2 outs. As the outfielders continue to play back and straight away, here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss. Looks like a changeup there on the inside corner at 77 miles per hour. And then the count is 0-1 here to Baltazar Lopez. And in the stretch, Castillo setting up inside. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And a slider. That one misses low and in, has the count even at 1-1. And Webb still shaking his head once again. And a bit of a smaller strike zone so far we've seen here tonight. Webb seems to be a little bit frustrated with the size of the strike zone as well. Set at the belt. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and that one is popped up third base side. That'll find its way into the seats and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom half of the third. If you're just joining us here on 1420, it's a 2-0 ball game. Quakes on top of the porch. We will see if Ryan Webb can put Baltazar Lopez away here to stop the bleeding. slowing things down, now set above the belt. And here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swinging a slow roller to the second baseman. Petit's going to have to hurry, and he got him for the third and final out of this bottom half of the third, but the Quakes jump up on the scoreboard. They make some noise here, almost batting around as they score 2 runs, and they do so on 4 hits, no errors, and the bases left loaded as we are now through 3, and we head to the top half of the 4th inning here at the Epicenter. 2-0 your score. It's the Quakes on top of the Ports. Back in just a few moments for the 4th here on 1420 KSTN.
Are you a child care provider, a parent, or an educator? If so, we might be able to help you. We are Family Resource and Referral Center's R&R department. The following services are available: free referrals to licensed child care centers and homes, brochures and handouts on a variety of child development topics, a resource library open daily, access to our on-site subsidized child care staff, die-cut machine area, laminating services, and so much more. Our main office is located at 509 West Weber, and our satellite office is located at 7272 Murray Drive in Stockton. And our new Tracy location is coming soon. Call us at 1-800-526-1555. We're Family Resource and Referral Center's R&R department, and for the past 27 years, we've been improving the lives of children and families, one family at a time.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Rudy on 1420 KSTN.
We are now through 3 as we head to the top half of the 4th inning. Live here from the Epicenter, Rancho, Cucamonga. It's 2-0 your score. Quakes on top of the Ports. Rancho threatening for a whole lot more there in the bottom half of the third. Webb doing a nice job stopping the bleeding there with the bases loaded. As he got Baltazar Lopez to ground out to Petit to end the frame. We'll see if the Ports can give him a little support here in inning number 4. It will be 3-4-5. Richie Robnett, Tommy Everidge, and Myron Leslie to face the right-hander. Again, it's Fernando Rodriguez on the mound for his 4th inning of work as Robnett digs in 1 for 1 with a double in the first. Line score here in the ballgame, if you're just joining us, for the Quakes, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. For the Stockton Ports, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And here's the wind of the first pitch. Big swing and a miss, blew it past him on the inside corner for a strike, and the count is 0-1 to Robnett. That fastball on the inside part of the plate at 89 miles per hour. Here's the wind in the 0-1. And a breaking ball with a called strike on the inner half. And the count is quickly 0-2 to Richie Robnett. Here's the line of the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a high chopper foul down the first base side. Still 0-2 the count. Robnett has had some big hits in the road trip. A couple of home runs in the series against the Jethawks. There's the 0-2 pitch on the way. There's a swing and a miss, a drop third strike as Robnett races down the line at first, but catcher Michael Collins there to fire down to first. So Robnett is a strikeout victim for 1 down here in the 4th, and that'll bring up the first baseman Tommy Everidge, who struck out himself in the first, went down looking to end the inning. And again, Everidge was the one to bring up the big no-no in the 8th inning in yesterday's ball game with the double. He eventually scored the only run as well, breaking up the shutout. First pitch, there's a swing at a high drive, very shallow in left, and out there's the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. As he makes the catch, he'll put it away for out number 2 in the 4th. And with 2 up and 2 down, it brings up the third baseman, Myron Leslie. And Leslie 0 for 1. He flew out to left fielder Drew Toussaint in the second to start the inning in his first at bat. Switch hitter coming in to the left side against the right-hander. And with 2 home runs, got one of those 2 blasts back at Clear Channel Stadium a couple of nights ago. Here's the wind and the first pitch with a changeup. Called strike of the outside corner. The count is 0-1. to Myron Leslie. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a hot shot foul, first base side and out of play, and the count is quickly 0-2. So working quickly now is Fernando Rodriguez, and with 2 outs, already 2 strikes on Leslie. And his face just 2 over the minimum so far. Here's the wind and the 0-2 from the right-hander. Swung on and lifted down the left field line, but that'll find its way into the seats as well. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. Game 2 of this 3-game series. And the Quakes on top of the porch, 2-0 if you're just joining us here. As Leslie steps out of the box, now digs right back in. Here's the line, another 0-2 pitch. Swung on, poked foul, first base side right there as it bounces in the or near the Stockton porch dugout, and still 0-2 the count on the Stockton third baseman, Myron Leslie. Fernando Rodriguez winds and fires an 0-2 pitch, a check swing and a breaking ball. They appealed to the third base umpire to see if he went around. They said he did not. And there's the count, 1-2. Here's the wind and a 1-2 pitch. Here's a swing and a tapper just left of the mound. Coming off the mound is Rodriguez. A low throw, but a good scoop there for Baltazar Lopez, and that'll retire Leslie and the Stockton porch here in the top half of the 4th inning. As they go quietly in order. No runs, 6 errors, and none left. We head to the last of the 4th here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. 2-0 your score. It's the Quakes on top of the porch. Back in 60 seconds for the bottom half of the 4th inning here on 1420 KSTN.
Are you searching for delicious traditional Mexican food? Search no more. Nena's is a place with 2 locations to serve you. Nena's Cafe at 1064 East Waterloo Road and Nena's Restaurant at 2208 South B Street in Stockton. Relax in a pleasant atmosphere and enjoy their friendly service. For lunch or dinner, select from Nena's extended menu with many of your favorite Mexican dishes, from entrees to combinations. Nena's Cafe, 1064 East Waterloo Road, and Nena's Restaurant, 2208 South B Street. Visit today.
The Army National Guard.
My name is Cheryl Hatcher. I joined the National Guard because of September 11th. I wanted to make a difference in the world. The Guard is a huge help to the community. It's amazing just the support that we give to the community and that the community gives to us. If you were someone coming to me saying, I want to join the Guard, I would absolutely say that it's really one of the best decisions. We're going to give you your education. There's no way of saying, I can't afford it. Hear the story about how the Guard changed my life at 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Sponsored by the California National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
Officer Adrian Quintero from the California High Patrol would like to remind you, please slow down, allow yourself some time to arrive to your destination, buckle up for your safety, and please don't drink and drive this Memorial Day weekend. On behalf of the California High Patrol and KSTN, enjoy your holiday weekend. Thank you.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Forts, only on 1420 KSTN.
To the bottom half of the 4th inning we go. It's the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes with a 2-0 lead. Ryan Webb on the mound for now his 4th inning of work. It could have been a whole lot worse. Webb did a nice job stopping the bleeding in the 3rd inning as they had the bases loaded and left them loaded after Baltazar Lopez grounded out to the second baseman Gregorio Petit to end the frame. But here in the 4th inning for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, it will be bottom half of the order, 7, 8, 9, Drew Toussaint, Ryan Leahy, and Josh LeBlanc. Again, 7, 8, 9 in inning number 4 for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Line score here in Game 2, if you're just joining us here on 1420 for Rancho, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Stockton Porch, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And here is the wind and the pitch on the way. As a fastball misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Drew Toussaint. As Webb looks in. Winds and delivers a 1-0 pitch and a breaking ball misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Toussaint. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, poke foul, third base side. And out of play. And the count 2-1. Well, day is slowly fading into a dark Southern California night here at the epicenter. Nice cool breeze as well, and there's a 2-1 pitch with a called strike at the outside corner in the count, even at 2-2. Let's see if Webb can put him away right here. He's typically gone with that 2-2 slider low and away. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it is the slider, but over the heart of the play as that one fought off down the first base side into the seats and out of play, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 Suns. On deck at the 8 holes, third baseman Ryan Leahy is also responsible for one of the 5 hits tonight for the Quakes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And another breaking ball in the dirt on the outside corner, and Toussaint does not go chasing after it, as that'll bring the count full of 3-2 on the Rancho left fielder. Well, of course, in this area, just down the road, the Dodgers and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, two teams highly rooted for. There's a ground ball up the middle, and Petit flips to Pennington, who makes a strong throw down to first, and that gets a nice ovation from the crowd here for the visiting team, as that'll be out number 1. A nice job, as Petit has done that a few times here this year, kind of going away from the bag, knowing that he can't make a strong enough throw, and he'll just flip over to Pennington at short. They've got some great communication, and they get a nice play there for a 1 down, as that'll bring up the third baseman, Ryan Leahy. Leahy digs in. He singled in the third and was later caught stealing after a great throw from David Castillo. Here's the wind and the pitch on the way as a fastball misses low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Ryan Leahy. But getting back to what I was mentioning just a few moments ago, of course, Rancho also an affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and the story tonight for them, obviously, is the Major League debut for the right-hander from Long Beach State, Jared Weaver, brother of Jeff Weaver, who's in the Major Leagues as well. There's a swinging a high drive deep down the left field line, but that one hooking plenty foul and out of play, and the count 1-1 here to Ryan Leahy. Ball and a strike apiece. Again, nobody on, 1 down. Bottom half of the 4th inning. 2-0 your score. It's the Quakes on top of the porch. Here's the wind from Webb and the 1-1 pitch. And a breaking ball. This is low and outside. 2-1. On deck in the 9 hole is the center fielder, Josh LeBlanc. Now time called as Leahy steps out rather quickly and steps right back into the batter's box. And Webb in the wind. Kicks and fires a 2-1 pitch. That one misses low and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike on the Rancho Cucamonga, third baseman Ryan Leahy. Of course, you look back to Leahy's having a real tough stretch here in the past 10 games, batting just .188. But there's a swing and a drive into right center field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Not the hardest hit ball of the night, but found a nice little comfortable spot in no man's land there in shallow right center field. So a 1-out single for Leahy. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Josh LeBlanc. And LeBlanc is flown out to left fielder Cameron Conklin in the third. Now time called as the manager Todd Steverson out there to talk to Ryan Webb. And this may be all she wrote for Webb here tonight. Wait and see if they make the official call to the bullpen, and they do. Looks like it is going to be a sprint call to the bullpen, first one tonight for the Stockton Ports here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So we will take a real quick 60-second breather, and when we come back, all the information on the new Stockton Ports pitcher right after this. Again, a sprint call to the bullpen here on 1420 KSTN.
If the gang is coming over for the big game, they're going to be hungry. You better make
sure you have plenty of great pizza on hand, you'd better call Best Pizza. At Best Pizza, every pizza is made with the finest and freshest ingredients and delivered to you hot, delicious, and ready to enjoy. From pregame functions to postgame celebrations, nothing hits the spot better than a pizza from Best Pizza. For delivery, call 957-8822 or dine in at 2339 West Hammer Lane. Best Pizza, our name says it all.
Are you buying or selling a home? Then give us a call. We're M&R Homes and Loans, and we can help you every step of the way. If you're buying, we'll listen to your needs and desires and help you find the home of your dreams. If you're selling, our real estate expertise and many effective marketing programs will give you the exposure and edge to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Find out more online at mnrhomesandloans.com. That's M&R Homes and Loans. Extensive experience, local expertise. Give us a call toll-free at 1-888-239-1771. That's 888-239-1771.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Force. Only on 1420 KSDN.
All right, folks, a Sprint call to the bullpen. Sponsored as always by Sprint. Proud sponsors of Home Run Hill, where for each and every Sunday home game of the 2006 season, you can purchase a voucher for $1 at any of your greater Sprint locations in the greater Stockton area. 5 locations total. And you can, again, for $1 any Sunday home game, sit out there on the berm seating and right center field and enjoy some great Stockton Porch baseball. Again, that is Sprint, proud sponsors of your 2006 Stockton Porch. Well, new pitcher on the mound is the left-hander, Brad Davis. And stats on Davis coming into the ballgame right here. He has got a win-loss record of 2-0 and ERA of 4.58 now in his 9th appearance of the season. In 17 and 2/3 innings of work, he has given up 9 earned runs on 18 hits while striking out 14, walking 6. And batters batting .277 against him. Comes in with a 1-on, 1-down situation, bottom half of the 4th inning. Again, Quakes on top 2-0. In relief of Ryan Webb, here's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first. And getting back in there safely is Ryan Leahy after the 1-out single. Hopefully, Ryan Webb's back is still at full strength and not the reason why he was taken out. We'll find out after the game and update you first thing for tomorrow's broadcast. There's a breaking ball that misses low and away, and the count is 1-0 to Josh LeBlanc. But he leads after just now 3 1/3 innings of work, responsible for the base runner at first base. But coming in now with 2 earned runs and 6 hits with an open book to his ledger. There's a pickoff throw back to first. Leahy gets back safely. And Davis once again looking in as Castillo sets up in the outside corner from the belt. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And a breaking ball with a called strike in the outside corner. The count is even at 1-1. Lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Brad Davis and Josh LeBlanc. And here's the stretch coming set just below the letters, the 1-1 pitch. And a breaking ball catches some black on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1-2 now to LeBlanc. Davis with an ERA of 4.58 coming into the game, and done a nice job putting out some fires in the bullpen this season for the Ports. That one fought off down the left field line and out of play into the seats, and the count still 1-2. And the Rancho Cucamonga center fielder. Let's see what he decides to do right now as he looks in. The catcher, David Castillo, all the way to the outside part of the plate. 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, blew it right past him on the inside corner. And that'll be out number 2 here in the 4th. And with 2 outs, brings up top of the order, and second baseman Nate Sutton, who's 1 for 2 with a solo home run in the 3rd. First strikeout of the ball game for Brad Davis. And another left-hander digs in, and Sutton, so another lefty-on-lefty matchup, which always seems to favor Davis, who does a nice job against the left-handers. First pitch on the way, swung on, popped up foul, third base side. That'll find its way into the upper deck of seats down the third base side, and bounces into the concourse and out of play as the count is 0-1 to Nate Sutton. Count day has officially faded into a dark Rancho Cucamonga night here at the epicenter. And from the letters, here's an 0-1. Check swing at a fastball, misses a little bit high and outside. Has the count even a 1-1. And in the stretch, taking a peek down at first. Now the 1-1 pitch and a breaking ball again. That one misses on the outer half of the plate, however. 2 balls and a strike to count to Sutton. We talked about the improvement the Stockton Forts have made pitching-wise. A lot of it has to do with the starting rotation, but the bullpen, they put together some pretty good numbers as well in the last few ball games. Davis has pitched in now 3 games in the last 10 days. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first. 1-0 in those 3 games. 4 1/3 innings of work. Has given up just 2 earned runs on 5 hits, striking out 3 batters. And the left-hander is set at the letters. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses high and outside, and the count quickly 3-1 now to Sutton as the right fielder Cliff Remley waiting in the wings on deck. Tempo of the game has been kind of grinded down here tonight. We were zipping right through the first few innings in last night's ball game with a great pitching performance, and there's a 3-1 pitch that misses outside, and that'll put 2 on now with 2 outs as the inning continues for the aforementioned right fielder Cliff Remley, who was 0 for 1 but walked and scored the second of 2 runs in the bottom half of the third for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. First walk of the game issued by Brad Davis. Davis, fair control. He had 2 walks total in his last 10 games in his last 3 outings and 4 1/3 innings of work. And again, coming into the ball game, Davis with a total of just 6 walks on the season in 17 2/3. So not a bad ratio at all for a young left-hander, where control is often an issue here at the minor league level, but not so much for Davis. But there are 2 on, 2 out. As Cliff Remley digs in. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup, a very left-handed heavy lineup here. And starting 9 for Rancho. Here's the pitch. And a called strike in the outside corner as the count is 0-1 to Cliff Remley. Davis a little more on the finesse spot side, and great changing of speeds for him as well. He had a fastball there that topped out at 84. Here's the 0-1. There's a swing and a bouncer down the first base side, foul and out of play, and the count 0-2 now to Remley. Quakes have doubled the Ports in the hit department at 6-3, and a big reason why they are on top 2-0 here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Due in large part to the solo home run from Sutton. Part of a 4-run bottom half of the 3rd inning attack for Rancho. They're trying to add to that here with 2 on. Here's the stretch. And Castillo now in the outside corner. The 0-2 pitch. There's a swing right over the glove of Myron Leslie and trickles into left center field. And Cliff Pennington, the shortstop, out there to back him up. Almost made a great leaping catch, did Leslie. But he cannot hang on, and that'll load up the bases. With 2 outs on the single there from Remley. Then I'll bring up the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez has flown out. He has also singled in the 3rd. So Rodriguez digs in with a big RBI opportunity right here. Of course, Rancho again last inning squandered a bases-loaded opportunity, left 3 on to the inning after Baltazar Lopez grounded out to end the frame after they had already added 2 to get on the scoreboard, but another huge chance to blow it wide open, and hopefully Davis can keep them quiet here in the fourth with 2 outs. Here's the stretch. First pitch on the way. Backdoor breaking ball, and a called strike at the outside corner as the count is 0-1 to Sean Rodriguez. Ryan Leahy at third with Nate Sutton at second, Cliff Remley at first. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, tapped down the third baseline, foul and out of play. And the count is quickly 0-2 now to Rodriguez. See if Davis can put him away right here. No balls, 2 strikes. Bases juiced, 2 outs. Ports trailing 2-0 here in the bottom half of the fourth. Castillo setting up in the outside corner. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And hit him right in the glove where he was setting up, but he was well off the plate, so it does miss outside. And the count 1-2. Base runners always very conservative leads off the bag. Here's the stretch. And the 1-2 pitch. There's a swing and a high drive to left, but this one looks playable for Cameron Coughlin. And he is there to make the catch. He will put it away. So once again, the Ports stay out of harm's way with the bases loaded as they Rancho Cucamonga Quakes with no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the bases left loaded as we are through 4. And we head to 5 here at the epicenter in Rancho Cucamonga. Once again, 2-0 your score. It's the Quakes on top of the fourth and back in just a few moments for the fifth here on 1420 KSTN.
Are you buying or selling a home? Then give us a call. We're M&R Homes and Loans, and we can help you every step of the way. If you're buying, we'll listen to your needs and desires and help you find the home of your dreams. If you're selling, our real estate expertise and many effective marketing programs will give you the exposure and edge to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Find out more online at mnrhomesandloans.com. That's M&R Homes and Loans. Extensive experience, local expertise. Give us a call toll-free at 1-888-239-1771. That's 888-239-1771.
Don't wait any longer. Find relief today. If you suffer from headaches, neck, or back pain, go to Quality Chiropractic. Whether you've been injured in the car, at work, or on the field, Dr. Mike Harrison can help you. He specializes in whiplash, laser therapy, and lumbar disc decompression therapy. Dr. Mike doesn't use drugs or surgery. He treats the cause of your pain. Go to qualitychiropractic.net or call 957-9901. Find relief from pain today at Quality Chiropractic, 5637 North Pershing Avenue in Stockton.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
We're through 4 as we head to 5 here at the epicenter. 2-0 your score. The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes on top of the Stockton Ports. And Stockton has done a nice job keeping it within striking distance as the Quakes have left the bases loaded 2 straight innings. It could be a whole lot worse than 2-0. And for the Stockton Ports here in the fifth, it'll be 6, 7, 8, John McCurdy, David Castillo, and Cliff Pennington. As they face the right-hander, Fernando Rodriguez, who is on the mound now for his 5th inning of work. He has given up just 3 hits here in the game. That was a pair of hits in the first inning, a single from Petit, a double from Robnett, and ever since then, the only other hit has been a single from John McCurdy. In the second, as he digs in 1 for 1 in the ballgame. Line score here in Game 2, if you're just joining us here on 1420, for the Quakes, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. For the Ports, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And there's McCurdy digging in. Ben had a really good batting practice here this afternoon. I was out watching some of the players, and McCurdy hitting a bunch of home runs past the left field wall. Seemed to have everything back in full swing as that pitch up and in misses, and the count 1 ball and no strikes to John McCurdy. Here's the wind of the 1-0 pitch. And he takes low and away as the count quickly 2-0 on the Stockton Ports designated hitter. Here's the wind and the 2-0 pitch. Taking there with a fastball inside. 3 balls and no strikes to count to John McCurdy. Well, an update on the debut of Jared Weaver. Once again, he's got a 6-0 lead in the 5th. And there's a called strike in the count 3-1 now to McCurdy. Here is the wind in the 3-1 pitch. Here's a swing and a flare in a shallow center, dropping quickly, and that's going to fall in for a single for McCurdy to start the 5th inning. There's the 4th hit of the ball game for Stockton, and of course Josh LeBlanc, the center fielder, playing fairly deep, and second baseman Nate Sutton tried to make it over there, but not in time. So a single for John McCurdy as it brings up the catcher Castillo, who is 0 for 1. He grounded into the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play in the second. Castillo now stepping out of the box, getting the signs from third base coach and manager Todd Steverson. Now digs in. Here's the stretch from Rodriguez, set at the belt. First pitch on the way. Fastball, misses high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to David Castillo. And again, set at the belt. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one gets past the catcher on a high fastball, bounces right back to him, though. Here's a sliding attempt from McCurdy, who moves from first to second, and he's now in scoring position. Now second base in the wild pitch, and 2 balls and no strikes to count to Castillo. Castillo in his last 10 ball games batting .286. He's got 8 hits and 28 batting .313 in his last 5 games. You break it down even closer, but night after night, just behind the plate in the absence of Landon Powell has really done a nice job every single night out there and catching all 9 innings. And tomorrow, of course, the afternoon game, I'm sure he is going to be absolutely wiped out after tomorrow's finale. I don't know, maybe if we'll see Haas Pratt behind the dish as he continues to hone his craft as his first-year catcher, catching in the bullpen every day for the Stockton Ports. That one is roped foul down the first base side and out of play on the count 2-1 to Castillo. Pratt, who has gotten into some games here on the road trip as a DH and did get into a game late as a catcher. They're still taking their time as they try to mold him into the catching position. Here's the stretch and the 2-1 pitch on the way to David Castillo. Fastball swung on and fouled back to the screen, and the count 2-2 now on the Ports catcher. And at second base, John McCurdy, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning, 2-0 Quakes here in Game 2. Ryan Webb, the starter, going after 3 in the 3rd innings of work. And his first outing after being activated off the DL, I'm sure was working off a rather short pitch count regardless, but came into a bit of trouble. And Brad Davis doing a nice job stopping the bleeding. Here's the stretch and the 2-2 pitch. On the way from Rodriguez to Castillo. There's a swing and a rope shot down the first base side. That'll bounce into the seats and then bounce out of the seats back into the field of play on a foul ball. Still 2-2 the count to the Stockton Ports catcher. Second night in a row, really, the Ports offense has had a tough time putting things together. It's surprising from what they have done in the past 10 ball games. Again, almost last night, almost no hit through 8 innings, and then it was Tommy Everidge with the double and eventually scoring the only run as they broke up the shutout as well. Here's the 2-2. There's a swing and a shot to right center. That'll fall in for a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to score is John McCurdy. An RBI single for David Castillo. And the Stockton Ports on the scoreboard now as they trail by a score of 2-1. It was a little nubber off the bat of Castillo in right center that just squirted past the second baseman, Nate Sutton. And an RBI single as McCurdy comes in, and that'll make it a 2-1 ball game. So the Ports cut the deficit in half as that brings up the switch-hitting shortstop, Cliff Pennington, who digs in. Pennington 0 for 1. He grounded out to the second baseman, Nate Sutton, in the 3rd. That puts Rodriguez again back in the stretch. And set out the belt. First pitch on the way. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first. And again, getting back in there safely is Castillo. Not much of a threat to run. Coming into the ballgame, Castillo with no stolen bases and just one attempt. If you want to use the cliche, he runs fast for a catcher because he does. He's got pretty good wheels, but that one misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Most catchers not the most fleet of foot. But Castillo certainly holds his own on the base pass, that is for sure. As Rodriguez looking at first, now coming set. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and a swing and a miss, and a fastball in the outside corner, and the count even at 1-1 to Pennington. Pennington finishing off that great play started by Gregorio Petit on a ground ball up the middle, where Petit backhanded and flipped to him and made a great throw to retire a Quake on a 4-6-3. Here's the stretch and the 1-1. There's a swing and a one-hopper to the shortstop. They get the out at second. Back to first. Not in time as the speedy Pennington racing down there. The throw is misplayed by the first baseman, Baltazar Lopez, but no harm done there. They do get the lead base runner. On the 6-4 as Castillo is forced out with Pennington at first, safe with the fielder's choice. So with 1 down, 1 on, it brings up the left fielder, Cameron Conkman, who was 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the third. Cliff Pennington flashing the speed, and we talked about that at great length when the season first started, about the A's as an organization that don't like to run, but a few players that are kind of exceptions to the rule, and it's been a lot of fun when Pennington's been helping to watch him on the bases because he can certainly giddy up. Got a pretty small lead off the bag. There's a pickoff throw back to first and slides back in there safely. Coughlin, another guy with formidable speed. On a strikeout victim in the third in his first at bat. Here's Fernando Rodriguez getting the sign he wants from the catcher, Michael Collins, who sets up outside, base runner going. That pitch misses outside. Here comes the throw. Not in time. A head-first slide and a stolen base there for Cliff Pennington as he is now in scoring position at second base. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes to Cameron Coughlin. And for Cliff Pennington, that will be the 7th stolen base in 8 opportunities for the switch-hitting shortstop. Again, had a small lead leading up to that moment there, but then got an excellent jump off the right-hander. Now stepping off the mound is Rodriguez as he'll look down at second to Pennington, who retreats back to the bag. So 1 ball and no strikes to Cameron Coughlin. With 1 on, 1 down, top half of the 5th inning, and the Forts trailing 2-1. Here's the 1-0 pitch, showing bunt again as Coughlin. Trying to lay it down and could not. He offers through the pitch and the count even at 1-1. Almost had a foot out of the batter's box before the pitch was blown past him on the outside corner. And Coughlin, the switch hitter, banks to the left side here, is someone who does a really good job on bunt singles, just laying him down the third base line, getting on base, and at least moving base runners along. As again, at second base, Pennington does represent the tying run and would be available to go down to third for a tying run just 90 feet away if they can move him along as that pitch misses outside. And Rodriguez again coming set. Here's a 2-1 pitch. One called strike at the outside corner. The count even at 2-2 now to Coughlin. Sure as Coughlin went down swinging in the third. Only ready to choke it and poke it right here. With a 2-strike count. Here's the stretch from the belt. The 2-2 pitch from Rodriguez to Coughlin, and here it is. And a breaking ball misses inside. So a full count now at 3-2 to Coughlin. There's a vacant base there at first with Pennington at second and 1 down, and putting him on would set up a force play. So I'm sure they might not feel the need to come across the plate with anything good for him to hit right here. But here's the stretch and the payoff pitch. There's a shattered bat, slow roller down the first base side. And that'll be Baltazar Lopez, who goes to first on the 3 unassisted to get out number 2. And A dangerous situation there as a broken bat went helicopter style right into the net. Just inches away from flying into the seats, but that'll be out number 2. And moving from second down to third is Cliff Pennington on the 3 unassisted. So with 2 outs. And again, Pennington at third. It'll bring up the right fielder, Luke Appert. Appert, who was 0 for 1. He flew out to third baseman Ryan Leahy in the first and then walked in his last plate appearance in the third. Again, tying run is 90 feet away. First pitch on the way inside, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Luke Appert. Ports trailing 2-1 here in the top half of the 5th inning. They've already plated a run across after McCurdy singled and came in after the RBI base knock from Castillo. And the Ports are going to tie it up. There's a line drive base hit to right field. Coming in to score is Pennington, a 2-out RBI single from Luke Appert as he keeps his hot streak going here on the road trip. And Stockton has tied things up at 2 apiece. Here in the 5th is that'll bring up the second baseman, Gregorio Petit, who was 1 for 2 with a single in the first. Nicely done there from Luke Appert as Petit digs in, of course, in his first hit. Tried to stretch that single into a double and was forced out at second base. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Base runner going. There's a called strike. Here's the throw. It is not in time. And a stolen base for Luke Appert. Also got an excellent jump there. There's Appert now with his 3rd stolen base in 4 attempts. And he is in scoring position as the count is 0-1 to Gregorio Petit. In the stretch and from the belt, here's the 0-1. There's the pickoff throw back to second. Been a low throw, but a good scoop there from the second baseman, Nate Sutton, as that one could easily have squirted into right center field, and that would have, at the very least, put Luke Appert at third base and 90 feet away from giving the Ports a lead, but he has held at bay. And Rodriguez, again, looking in. Takes a peek at second, set at the belt, the 0-1 pitch. And a breaking ball. This is low and inside. And it's the count even at 1-1 to Gregorio Petit. Petit has really taken the forefront on the base paths as a stolen base threat with the injury to Pennington that sidelined him for close to 2 weeks. As that pitch called strike at the outside corner, 1-2. So we'll see if Pennington Petit feels the need to wreak havoc on the bases with a few stolen bags, as the Stockton Ports have been very aggressive base running tonight. Again, Petit with 11 stolen bases to lead the team. We'll see if he can get on base and make something happen. Here's a 1-2 pitch. There's a swing and a foul slicing down the right field line as that'll find its way into the empty bleachers down the right field side. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Petit. In Game 2 of this 3-game series, Ports dropping the game last night 4-1 and hoping tonight to even the score. And they have fought their way back in here tonight, trailing 2-0, now tied up at 2-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Again, that one is also fought off down the right field side, and that'll go over the seats into the concourse area and out of play. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Stockton Ports second baseman. Lone base runner at second is Luke Appert after an RBI single and a stolen base. And Rodriguez coming set from the belt. 1-2 pitch. Here it is. And a breaking ball misses up and in, has the count even at 2-2. Balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 outs. Ports can take the lead with a base hit as Appert, an adequate amount of speed, getting off the bag at second. He's got a pretty good lead right now. And from the belt, here's the 2-2 pitch. Or I should say 3-2 pitches. That one misses low and away, and a walk has been issued. As that'll put runners at first and second now. It brings up the center fielder, Richie Robnett. Robinette 1 for 2 with a double in the first inning, and right now time is called as they'll have a chit-chat on the mound with the pitcher Fernando Rodriguez now, but with 2 on, 2 outs, Ports have already brought 2 across and finally starting to make some noise here in the series as Rancho has been dominant on the mound, keeping the Ports quiet at the plate, and we're still waiting for that one big inning here at the epicenter to finally announce our presence here in this series, and maybe that'll happen as Robinette ready to dig in. And with the quick break of the action, I'll take this moment to thank another sponsor that has made this Stockton Ports broadcast possible. Of course, I want to thank John's Incredible Pizza for sponsorship of some of this incredible Ports action tonight. The flat screen TVs, a full arcade, and a huge all-you-can-eat pizza buffet. Make sure you head to John's Incredible Pizza on Pershing Avenue in Stockton and find out for yourself. Oh, and don't forget to try their famous peanut butter pizza. That's John's Incredible Pizza, proud sponsors of the 2006 Stockton Ports. So again, 2 on, 2 out as Robinette digs in, 1 for 2 with the double in the first. Here's the stretch from Rodriguez and the pitch on the way. That one is swung on, thought off, foul down the third base side, right near the Jethawks dugout and out of play. And the count is 0-1 to Richie Robinette. Here's the stretch, right-hander again set, takes a peek at second, a long look over there. Here's the throw down to second now, and just getting back in is Luke Appert. Again, it's Appert at second with Petit at first. Very similar box score right now as you take a look for the Quakes. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. Ports 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. And again, coming set, the right-hander. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses high and outside, and the count even at 1-1. There has been some activity brewing in the bullpen. The right-hander continues to get loose for the Quakes. Maybe the last inning that we will see the starter, Fernando Rodriguez. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. That one misses low and outside, 2-1. Longest outing Rodriguez has had this season has been 7 1/3 innings of work back in his last outing on the 22nd against High Desert. And his shortest has been 4 2/3, so he's kind of right smack in the middle of that right now. Here's the 2-1. First, another pickoff throw back to second. Again, Appert just sliding back in there safely. Rodriguez dependable in going at least 5 innings in 8 of his 9 starts, but again, still not going more than 7 1/3. And here at the epicenter, he's 1-1 with a 2.63 ERA. It's a much different record for him on the road. As coming into the ballgame, he's 3-1 with a 6.75 ERA on the road as the right-hander. And here's the 2-1 pitch, and that one swung on and missed on a good breaking ball in the outside corner. And the count even at 2-2 now to Robinette. The season high for strikeouts has been 7. And again, he's got 3 strikeouts right now, hoping for number 4 right here, and the Ports just hoping to put the bat on the ball. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And one just misses on the outside corner, and the fastball to 89 miles an hour. And the count is full now at 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 down. Top of the 5th, 2 have already come across for Stockton to tie things up at 2 apiece. And coming set, Rodriguez looking in now from the bell. Here's the 3-2 payoff pitch. Base runner's moving with the pitch. That one is swung on and missed. Good fastball there on the inside corner at 90. Blew it right past him, and that'll retire the side here in inning number 5. And for the Stockton Ports here in the 5th, at least they do bring home 2. They score 2 runs, and they do so on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We head to the last of the 5th here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. A 2-2 tie between the Ports and Quakes. We'll be back in just a few moments for the bottom half of the 5th inning here on 1420 KSTN.
So here I am enjoying the great outdoors with the family, the bears, skunks, and bugs. At least our big adventure started on the right foot at Les Schwab. Got the tires and service we needed, even signed up to win an ATV. The only thing Les Schwab didn't have was bug spray.
spray, or
Mom, I had it first.
kids spray.
Save, scratch, and win during Adventure Days. You can win a Polaris Sportsman ATV, compliments of your local Polaris dealer and your Les Schwab Tire Center.
Imagine that. You could be the winner of a Polaris Sportsman 500 ATV. And of course, when you shop at Les Schwab, you're always a winner, starting the moment you drive in. That kind of running, eager to please service. In tires and custom wheels, choose from the West's largest selection. Warranty honored at over 400 locations. For added performance, ask about siping. Need credit? We've got it. Just ask. Learn more at LesSchwab.com. Save, scratch, and win. Adventure Days now at Les Schwab.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Force. Only on 1420 KSDN.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back here in the bottom half of the fifth inning, live from the epicenter in Rancho, Cucamonga. Again, a 2-2 tie between the Stockton Forts and the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. And on the mound for another inning of relief for Ryan Webb is the southpaw, Brad Davis. And here in the fifth, he will face 4, 5, 6, Michael Collins, Pat Riley, and Baltazar Lopez. And there's Collins to lead things off. Michael Collins, the catcher for Rancho, is 1 for 2, an RBI single and a stolen base in his last plate appearance in the third. So both sides squandering quite a few opportunities, more for Rancho than the Stockton Forts, but again, Forts leaving 2 on that last inning. But Rancho really knocking hard on the door and trying to answer the call, but they have left a total of 7 on, but 6 in the last 2 innings, 3 apiece, and bases loaded in both the third and fourth innings. So Collins, the catcher, will start things off against Davis. Davis hoping to finish this inning strong as well. There is no activity in the pen right now. A couple of Ports pitchers stretching, nobody throwing. Here's the first pitch. And a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 here to Michael Collins. Line score here in the ball game for the Quakes, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. For the Stockton Ports, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Here's the wind and the pitch on the way, and the breaking ball misses inside. 80 miles per hour in the inside corner. Davis, another guy that does a nice job changing up the speeds with each and every pitch. Here's the 1-1. And a swing and a miss. And a good breaking ball there in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Michael Collins. Once again, the DH, Pat Riley, waiting on deck. Big thing for Rancho has been making some noise later in the innings, as the Ports have done a nice job getting out the first batter in almost every single inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a swing off the end of the bat, a line shot up the middle, and that'll be a base hit to center field for Michael Collins to start the bottom half of the fifth for Rancho. That was a little cue shot right off the end of the stick. Dribbled up the middle and again found a hole, so a leadoff single for Collins, who is now 2 for 3. And that'll bring up the DH, Pat Riley. Riley, who has grounded out and walked. He's 0 for 1 on the evening. As Riley now digs in another lefty-on-lefty matchup, and you see why Brian Ford had such a good time on the mound last night. All these left-handers in the starting 9 for the Quakes. That breaking ball misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Pat Riley. It's amazing. LeBlanc, Lopez, Riley, Remley, Sutton, all back from the left side exclusively. And there's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first and getting back in there safely. There's the catcher, Michael Collins. Quakes have now out-hit the Ports 8-6, but we still have a tie ball game at 2 apiece. Castillo now setting up with the outer half of the plate. There's another pickoff throw back to first. And Collins again getting back in there safely. Collins with just 3 stolen bases in 5 attempts. Not really getting much of an intimidating lead off the bag at first, but Davis paying quite a bit of attention. Here's the 1-0 pitch, swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count even at 1-1 now to Riley. We're right at the 9 o'clock hour here on the West Coast on 1420 AM. KSTN Stockton. Thanks so much for spending your Saturday night with us. So far, so good. It's been an entertaining ball game. Again, both sides threatening for a whole lot more. You would think it'd be a lot more high-scoring than 2-2, as that one is fouled off down the third base side, find its way into the seats, and 1-2 the count now to Riley. But against both offenses, squandering a few opportunities, and the pitching has done a nice job stepping it up down the stretch. So still a 2-2 tie. When it could have been a whole lot more with the bases loaded in each of the last 2 innings for Rancho. Now, hopefully the Porch can get a ground ball and shorten this inning up as well. And here's the 1-2 pitch. And the breaking ball misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count now. On the Rancho Cucamonga Quake DH. And Castillo right over the heart of the plate now setting up. There's another pickoff throw. Davis keeps using his B move back to the bag at first, because I am quite certain that Collins has not seen the A move from Davis, one of the better pickoff moves in the league. Probably not as sharp as his teammate Ryan Ford, who again is so stellar with that pickoff attempt that he almost borders on a balk almost every single time. In fact, he was called for a balk yesterday, but also had an opportunity to pick off a base runner. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Went right past him there in the outside corner. A nice job from Brad Davis. That'll be out number 1. And strikeout number 2 for the southpaw as it brings up the first baseman, Baltazar Lopez, who is 1 for 2 with a double in the second. And Lopez in his first game of the series here. He's taking the duties at first base of last night. It was Cliff Remley who is at first, and he is in left field. Or I should say right field here tonight. Here's the pitch. He's got one foul back third base side. That will find its way into the seats and out of play. And the count is 0-1 here to Baltazar Lopez. And it's amazing what people will do for free T-shirts. Yeah, firing some free T-shirts into the crowd here. Here's the stretch, and from the letters, an 0-1 pitch. Here's a breaking ball, misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Baltazar Lopez. Inching off the bag at first is Collins. Again, a very small lead, although Davis has kept quite a bit of attention over there to him. His lead foot is just beyond the cutout. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. And the count 1-2 now to Lopez. 69-mile fly reduced there on the outside corner. Dropped right off the table. And now Davis ahead 1-2. We'll see if he can put Lopez away. We'll take a look at the Stockton Porch pitching staff, and really no flamethrowers. Guys can get it upwards of 90 to 91. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one misses outside 2-2, but kind of looking from top to bottom here at the pitching staff, both in the rotation and in the bullpen. Best fastball on the staff is probably right now the closer, Mike Mitchell, who's topping out at about 95 on the road trip against Lancaster. There's another pickoff throw. But again, very fundamentally sound pitching staff. They don't issue a lot of walks, which is huge and a big sign of a team coached by pitching coach Scott Emerson. That is a huge thing for him as well. And he told me it several times that his teams will always be low in the walk category. Here's a breaking ball and a called strike 3 on the inside corner. He struck him out. 2 down here in the 5th. Third strikeout of the ball game there for Brad Davis. Aiming to bring up the left fielder Drew Toussaint. Make sure you pencil that one in backwards if you're scoring, as Toussaint now digs in. He is 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. Talking more about the Stockton Ports and their walk totals as comparison to the rest of the California League. That breaking ball misses outside 1-0. Coming into the ball game here tonight, Stockton has issued a total of 174 walks as a team. And starting to creep up there a little bit higher than they were before, but much lower than Bakersfield, who has 195 to lead the league. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Here's the swing and a high drive down the right field line, but slicing foul. And out of play is the count even at 1-1 now to Toussaint. Well, I would say it seems to be a safe bet in Anaheim right now for Jaron Weaver to win his first ball game. As a major leaguer, as the Angels have given him a 9-0 cushion in Angels Stadium in Anaheim. And a local Long Beach State product and someone that a lot of people here have followed for quite a few years through college and now in the pros. Set at the letters. Here's the 1-1, and that one misses outside. 2 balls and a strike to count. The 2-2 tie, last of the fifth here in Game 2. Rancho with 2 runs in the bottom half of the third. Ports fighting back with 2 at the top of the fifth. Here's the 2-1. There's a swing and a bouncing ball foul down the third base side. And the count even at 2-2 now on the Rancho left fielder Drew Toussaint. And in the stretch, set just above the letters. Here's the 2-2, swinging a bouncing ball up the middle, just over the bag in the center field. That'll be a base hit for Toussaint. Stopping at second base will be Michael Collins. At first, Toussaint with a single. Now 2 on, 2 out. 2 base hits in the inning will bring up third baseman Ryan Leahy. And Leahy 2 for 2 with a pair of singles in the game. He also caught stealing in the third. That was just a good at-bat there from Toussaint. He started off a bunch of pitches that he didn't want and got one that he did and just really shot it up the middle. He just bounced right over the bag at second into center. Or hit in any league, and now 2 on with 2 outs as Leahy will dig in, and the catcher David Castillo out there settling down Brad Davis. See if he can finish the frame here in the fifth. After the long road trip, I'm sure that Monday's day off will be one that is looked upon as a much-needed rest for the pitching staff here for Stockton. Trying to think who else would be available in the bullpen tonight. Of course, last night, after Ryan Ford, it was Randy Rapp, Trent Peterson, and Joel Posey. And of course, Jeff Coleman pitched 2 nights in a row 2 nights ago, and then again the night before that. So here's the pitch as a breaking ball. Misses outside, and the count 1-0. Heath Castle may be available. Again, Heath Castle, free agent acquisition signing back on the 17th of May, and he's really been used as a situational lefty for the Stockton Ports. Came in to face just 1 or 2 batters in several of the games in the road trip here. There's a breaking ball. That one misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. He pitched just 1 frame against the Modesto Nuts at John Thurman Field last weekend. And then 3 nights ago in Lancaster came in to face just 1 batter and got a strikeout. As they were going situational against the left-handed batter. And here is the stretch, and from the belt, the 2-0 pitch, and a breaking ball, the called strike in the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike to Ryan Leahy. Collins at second with Toussaint at first. Ports and Quakes knotted up at 2 apiece. Here's the 2-1 from Davis. And a check swing and a breaking ball. They say he did not go around, and the count 3-1 now. To Leahy, and Davis certainly does not want to walk the bases loaded here. So Ryan Leahy in a hitter's count at 3-1. I'm sure he's probably going to get something good to hit right here. And we'll see if Davis can pinpoint his location. catcher setting up on the outside part of the plate, set above the belt. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And a called strike at the outside corner, and the count full at 3-2 now to Leahy. Davis once again gazes in at his battery mate. He's done a nice job with the breaking ball against both the left and right-handed batters, changing up the speeds. Now time is called as stepping out of the batter's box will be Leahy. This will probably be the last inning that we see Davis, but he has gone fairly deep as he has been the long reliever before the addition of Posey. That one misses outside. And now the base is loaded on the 2-out walk issued here to Leahy. Moving down to third is Collins. In the scoring position at second now is Toussaint and Leahy at first. So another bases loaded opportunity. We can't seem to get away from that. That is the third straight inning now that Rancho has loaded the bases. Ports playing with fire as each in the last 2 innings coming into the fifth. They have been able to avoid further trouble with the bases loaded, Jam, as the Quakes have left the bases juiced in the third and fourth, and I know they do not want to do so here in the fifth. But Davis really got his work cut out for him right here as he faces in the 9-hole the center fielder Josh LeBlanc, who has flown out and struck out into at bats. And the pitching coach, Scott Emerson, coming out to have a chit-chat with Davis, just to make sure that he knows how he is going to face the center fielder LeBlanc. And, of course, LeBlanc batting from the left side of the batter's box. So I imagine Davis is staying there to face him for that lefty-on-lefty matchup, which always favors Davis. Now a couple of guys throwing in the bullpen. As Emerson continues to chat on the mound with Davis. Again, at third base, Michael Collins. At second, Drew Toussaint. At first, Ryan Leahy. There are 2 outs as we are in the bottom half of the fifth inning, and 2 runs, again, have come across to tie things up for the Ports in the top half of the inning. But here in the bottom half, Quakes trying to regain the lead. As the conference on the mound has been broken up, and now Scott Emerson heading back to the dugout. So it's in the hands of the 9-hole batter, Josh LeBlanc. Again, bases loaded, nowhere to put him, so Davis is going to have to go right after him. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Brad Sullivan is the right-hander loosening up in the bullpen. Here's the pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there in the inside corner as the count is 0-1. Davis kind of taking his time right now, taking circles around the mound. Now he steps back on top on the rubber. Pretty sure Emerson probably told him this may be the last batter that he'll face. Here's the 0-1. Here's a swing and a flare to left, dropping quickly, and a diving effort there in left, and he cannot hang on. Conley made a valiant effort, but he could not hang on to it as a couple runs will come in to score. Going up to second base will be Josh LeBlanc, and the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes have taken a 4-2 lead here in the bottom half of the fifth. On the 2-out base hit there from Josh LeBlanc. And again, you really have to tip your cap to Coughlin for coming in as hard as he did to even try to make that catch, but could not put it away as Collins comes in to score. Drew Toussaint comes in to score. Moving down to third is Leahy with LeBlanc at second, and also for Davis, couldn't expect more from the left-hander than that as he got the routine fly ball that he wanted. It's just that Conklin playing fairly deep in left, and that one fell right in front of him. So first pitch to Sutton, swung on and popped up. This one, same location, but hit a little higher, and more time for the Ports to get to it as the shortstop Pennington will make the catch in left center, and that'll put it away to end the inning. But Rancho once again jumps back on top as they score 2 runs, and to do so on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We're through 5, so it's official rain or shine here at the epicenter as we head to the 6th. 4-2 your score. The Quakes on top of the Ports, and back in just a few moments for the 6th inning here on 1420 KSTN.
You can't play pro ball without first having a solid foundation of skills. The same can be said in the construction industry. That's why homeowners and contractors throughout the area rely on Jerry Joy Concrete. They specialize in all aspects of concrete work, from removal to installation. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, for pride and workmanship in every job, give them a call. 462-1481. That's 462-1481. Jerry Joy Concrete, locally owned and operated since 1990.
Playing through or ignoring a minor injury can lead to something much worse. If left untreated, it can cause chronic pain-related problems. So get a complete exam and thorough consultation from the Stockton Injury Center. They specialize in auto accident, work-related, and sports injury treatment and rehabilitation. And they accept most insurance plans. So before a minor injury sidelines you, call for an appointment at 209-952-8851. That's the Stockton Injury Center for complete spinal care and rehabilitation.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Forts with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
We are through 5 as we head to the 6th. 4-2, Quakes with a 2-run lead on top of the Stockton Forts after taking 2 in the bottom half of the inning, and you knew at some point Rancho would capitalize with a bases-loaded situation after 2 straight innings. They left them loaded. Well, in the 5th, they get 2 runs on those 3 hits. They do lead 2, so it still could have been worse, but now the Forts are going to have to play catch-up once again here in the 6th. Trailing 4-2. New pitcher on the mound will be the right-hander, Dan Hawkins. And in the 6th, it'll be 4-5-6 for the Stockton Forts. Tommy Everidge, Myron Leslie, and John McCurdy again, 4-5-6 here in the 6th inning. Is Tommy Everidge the man to lead things off? He is 0 for 2, struck out looking in the 1st, and flew out to the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez, in the 4th. Line score here in the ball game, if you're just joining us, for the Quakes, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors. For the Stockton Forts, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. It's been a while since Forts pitching has given up double digits in the hit department, but that has been the case here tonight. Davis will probably be done for the evening as there's a breaking ball. Misses low and outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes to Tommy Everidge. And here's the wind of the 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a high fly ball, right center field and playable there. It's Remley drifting over, and he will come in to make the catch and puts it away for 1 down in the 6th. And this will bring up third baseman Myron Leslie. Leslie is flown out and grounded out. He is 0 for 2. Switch hitter batting from the left side against another right-hander in Hawkins. And then we'll give you some more stats here on Hawkins after this first pitch on the way. And here it is. Misses high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, Hawkins 1-1, a 7.94 ERA, now in his 12th appearance of the season. Here's the wind of the 1-0 pitch. This is inside 2-0. In 17 full innings, he's given up 15 earned runs on 25 hits. Striking out 4, walking 11. Batters batting .357 against him. Here's the wind in the 2-0. And a fastball in the outside corner misses. 3 balls and no strikes to Leslie. And 4 strikeouts to 11 walks. Not an impressive ratio. Looks like he got his cleat stuck in the dirt there as he was in the middle of the windup, and now stepping out of the batter's box, taking a swing, is Leslie. And digs right back in. Here's the wind in the 3-0 pitch. And a called strike at the outside corner. The count is 3-1 to Myron Leslie. Here's the 3-1 pitch, swinging a bouncing ball to the right side, taken by the first baseman, Baldazar Lopez. And he will make the play himself to first on the 3 unassisted. Because that'll be 2 up and 2 down in the 6th. And it'll bring up the DH, John McCurdy, who's 2 for 2, a pair of singles, and a run scored in the 5th. And here's the wind of the first pitch. The fastball misses low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Fastballs so far from Hawkins have ranged from about 84 to 89. And here's the wind in the 1-0. That one misses low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes to count as Collins calling time while out there chit-chatting with his pitcher, Fernando Rodriguez. Just a reminder, tomorrow, for the third and final game of the series, yes, we will be airing on a tape-delayed broadcast following University of Pacific Baseball, one of our last tape delays of the season. I'll make sure that you tune in right after UOP Baseball. We'll have the game in its entirety. And there's a called strike in the inside corner in the count 2-1 to John McCurdy. And here's the wind in the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the screen, and the count even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Game 2 of this 3-game series, and if you're just joining us, the Quakes on top of the Stockton Ports by a score of 4-2. And Hawkins in relief of Fernando Rodriguez. Here's the wind of the 2-2 pitch. That one does not miss by much of the outside corner, but the count running full at 3-2 now to McCurdy. He's saying it's a much smaller strike zone, but it's been consistently small for both sides. Here's a 3-2 payoff pitch, and a swing and a miss. He blew it right past him on the outside corner, and that will retire the side here in the 6th. So, nothing doing for the Ports. They go in order. No runs, hits, errors, and none left as we head to the last of the 6th. Here in game number 2. It's 4-2 Quakes on top of the Ports. And we're back in just 60 seconds for the last of the 6th inning here on 1420 KSTN.
Life can be full of risks. If you're self-employed or an individual, you already know that you take risks every day. But one thing you shouldn't take risk with is your family's health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company to get it now. If you have health insurance, call Mega and see if they can give you better coverage at a better rate. Mega helps tons of small business owners and individuals. You can reach Mega 24 hours a day at 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Don't take risks with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. Without the right health insurance plan, you could be in trouble. For affordable health insurance, call 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Home office, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not available in all states, and benefits may vary by state.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beruti on 1420 KSTN.
Last of the 6th here at the epicenter at Rancho, Cucamonga. 4-2 your score. It's the Quakes on top of the Stockton Ports. New pitcher on the mound for Stockton here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and it will be the right-hander, Brad Sullivan. Tim Sullivan coming into the ball game here for the Ports with a win-loss record of no wins, no losses in the 7.45 ERA now in his 8th appearance. In 9 2/3 innings of work, he has given up 8 earned runs on 12 hits, striking out 7, walking 12, and batters batting .316 against them. And here in the 6th for the Quakes, it'll be 2-3-4, Cliff Brimley, Sean Rodriguez, and Michael Collins. And the line score for the Quakes, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors. For the Stockton Ports, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And third pitcher of the night is Sullivan. If you're just joining us, Ryan Webb got the start with just 3 1/3, then coming in relief is Brad Davis. And Davis did a pretty good job in relief, but again, giving up those 2 runs in the 5th. And a bases-loaded opportunity did the Quakes and took advantage of it. The game could have been worse as they left 2 on. In fact, they've left runners on in every inning but the first. They have now left a total of 9 base runners on after 5 innings of work. So although it's 4-2 your score, Port's still very much in striking distance when really this game could be very much out of reach. So Rimley digs in. He has flown out. He's also walked and scored and singled in his last at bat in the 4th. And here's the stretch. First pitch on the way, and a fastball misses high. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Cliff Remley. Sullivan quickly in the stretch. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And a fastball misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. And here's the 2-0 pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball to the left side. Leslie bobbles it, now picks it up, fires to first. 1 down here in the 6th, and it brings up the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez 1 for 3 with a single in the 3rd. Only 2 runs for the Ports came in the top half of the 5th inning. As for the Quakes, they scored 2 in the 3rd and 2 in the 5th as well. Really the highlight for them has been the solo home run from Nate Sutton. That came just 2 pitches after Ryan Leahy was caught stealing those, so it could easily be 5-2 as well. Here's the first pitch from Sullivan, a breaking ball. And this is on the inside corner. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Sean Rodriguez. And here's the stretch in the 1-0. And fastball swung on and missed, up and in. And the count even at 1-1. Sullivan gazes in at the catcher, Castillo, now setting up in the outside corner. Here's the 1-1 pitch, breaking ball. And a called strike in the inner half, and the count 1-2 now to Sean Rodriguez. On deck, the catcher, Michael Collins. Again, 1 down. We are in the last of the 6th here in Game 2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And trying a breaking ball, but missed up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rodriguez. Really good crowd on hand here tonight at the Epicenter. Wait, 2 at the final attendance numbers. I'm sure probably up over 4,000. Here's the 2-2. Line shot down the third base side. That's a fair ball, and she'll roll into the corner. Rounding first, heading for 2 and possibly 3. And now he throws his jets on it. Still having problems is Coglin down at left field as he bobbled it a few times before getting it in. And Rodriguez now down at third is 90 feet away with 1 out as that'll bring up the catcher, Michael Collins. That was roped right down the line all the way into the corner, and then Coglin tried to get on a clean bounce and bobbled it a few times before he threw it back in. So now 90 feet away. Down at third is Rodriguez, and that'll bring up Collins, who is 2 for 3, a pair of singles. He's also grounded out, scored a run, and has an RBI with a stolen base all to his ledger tonight. So Rancho threatening to add to their 4-2 lead here in the last of the 6th, and we'll see if Sullivan can just go right after the batter here again without a force play opportunity. All the Ports infielders playing right on top of the grass, and the outfielders playing fairly shallow as well. And here's the pitch. That's fastball. This is inside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Collins. Rodriguez has gotten some really good swings against the Ports in this series. And here is the stretch. And the 1-0. That one misses outside. 2-0. The right-handed looks in, and David Castillo had a busy night behind the plate now. Sets up. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that fastball looks like it will hit Collins, and it does. A hit by pitch, and that'll put runners at the corners at first and third with 1 down and brings up the DH, Pat Riley. And it's just unfortunate. You look at a guy in Sullivan going down to extended spring training and coming back, and again, it's really looked good on the mound, throwing strikes and harnessing that fastball, which has been the Achilles heel for him since the A's made him a first-round selection. Again, location, but here, pitching well and then gives up a tough triple there, and see how he comes back from adversity, but he hits Collins, and that'll put runners at the corners with 1 down as it brings up Riley. And now there will be a double play in effect, and we'll see if Sullivan can take advantage of that and maybe get a ground ball here to get out of this inning. Here's the stretch and the pitch, and a fastball blew it right past him on the outside corner as the count is 0-1. Asks for a new baseball, and we'll get one here from the home plate umpire, and is Sullivan. So again, Rodriguez at third, Michael Collins at first. One down. Quakes on top, 4-2. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2, but a drop pitch there, and Castillo can't find it. Base runner's going to come home, and he scores. And going all the way down to third now is Collins. Wow. That was a swing and a miss, but Castillo could not find the baseball. He threw his hands up in the air. Kind of a gutsy base running decision there for Sean Rodriguez as he got about halfway down the line. And then just decided when Castillo still couldn't find it, which the ball was not far past him, decided to race on in. He comes in safely, and going all the way from first down to third is Michael Collins as he is 90 feet away, and it's now 5-2 as the Quakes take a 3-run lead. So now at third base, Collins. Everyone's standing on top of the infield grass once again. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Riley, and a breaking ball misses inside as the count 2-1. And again, that takes away the opportunity for a force play with runners at the corners. Now just a runner at third, so no force play in the infield at all. And again, all the ports standing right on top of the infield grass. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here to Pat Riley. And here's the stretch and a 2-2 pitch. Backdoor breaking ball. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Nice job there for Sullivan coming right back after a tough situation there and blows it right past Riley for out number 2. And it'll be strikeout number 1. And it brings up the first baseman, Baltazar Lopez, who is 1 for 3 with a double in the second. And here is the stretch. Pitch on the way, and that one misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. And Collins just 90 feet away, but 2 outs. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Tried the back door and missed. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Baltazar Lopez. Sullivan, third pitcher of the night for the Ports, and really no Ports pitchers seemed all that comfortable on the mound. Again, trailing 5-2, but numbers really not an indication as that one fouled back to the screen. Rancho has been all over the bases this entire ball game, which is amazing because they went 1, 2, 3, nothing doing in the first, and only faced 4 in the second. But since then, Rancho has come close to batting around in the third, fourth, and fifth as they have brought at least 7 up to the plate in each of the last 3 innings. Here's the stretch and the 2-1. There's a swing and a line shot down the third base side, and that'll be a foul ball. Almost took the head off the base runner, Michael Collins, who hit the deck hard there. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 outs. Bottom half of the 6th inning. It's 5-2. Quakes on top of the Ports. Sullivan in the stretch, looking in to get the signs. Now gets the one he likes and comes set. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Now stepping off the mound is Sullivan. And here in the stretch, the 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and a poke shot foul down the first base side. Again, out of play. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Baltazar Lopez. Quakes have had big opportunities in every single inning but the first. And there's still some more activity brewing in the pen for Stockton. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and foul tip right behind the plate. Castillo tried to hang on to it, but he could not. And again, still 2-2 the count. And another foul shot ricochets off of Castillo. He has got to have some bumps and bruises after this road trip. We've already talked about one of them as he was hit with a pitch 3 nights ago. Right on the top of his left arm, right near the shoulder. And you can see the stitching from the baseball in his arm. Here's the stretch and a 2-2 pitch. That fastball misses outside. Another runner coming home is Sullivan blocking the plate and tags the base runner as that'll end the inning. So Sullivan quickly atoning for the wild pitch there as Castillo flipped it right back to him, and Collins out at the plate as that will end the 6th. And for the Quakes here in inning number 6, they do get another run. And they get 1 run as they do so on 1 hit, no errors, and after being out at the plate, none left as well. We are now through 6, and we head to the 7th. Feels like we've almost played a week's worth of baseball here tonight, and again, still through 6. It's 5-2 Quakes on top of the ports. So we're back in just a few moments for the 7th here on 1420 KSTN.
Have you ever thought about becoming a foster parent and improving the life of a child in need? This is Landon Powell of the Stockton Ports. For more than 40 years, Agape Village's foster family agency has been committed to healing hearts and building families. But they cannot do it alone. Find out how you can become a foster parent by calling Agape Villages at 1-800-566-2225. The Stockton Ports, Butler Construction, and New York Life encourage you to make a difference in the life of a child.
To be a good base runner in baseball, you have to be aggressive. If you're looking for quality concrete services, you have to be aggressive too. So call the pros at Aggressive Concrete Cutting. They're a cut above the rest. Aggressive Concrete specializes in slab sawing, core drilling, demolition, and grinding. Aggressive Concrete Cutting is locally owned and operated with 26 years of experience. They pride themselves on integrity and character. Give them a call at 824-0718. That's Aggressive Concrete Cutting. They're a cut above the rest.
You are listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
We are through 6 as we shift gears now to the top of the 7th inning. It's 5-2 your score. The Quakes on top of the Stockton Ports. A lot of strange things happening here tonight. As again, right there, at least Sullivan had an opportunity to atone for the wild pitches. He covered the plate nicely and really blocked the plate. Did a real nice job there as Collins coming in did not score, and Castillo quick to get to the ball and flip over to Sullivan to get the 3rd and final out. And Castillo will be the man to lead things off at the plate here in the 7th. It'll be 7-8-9 Castillo, Pennington, and Conklin. Again, Ports trailing 5-2 for the Quakes. 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Ports. 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And here is the wind and the pitch on the way, and a fastball. This is low and outside as the count is 1 ball and no strikes to David Castillo. Here's the wind of the 1-0 pitch. They're swinging a high chopper, third base side, taken on the short hop from Leahy. Will fire down to first. And Castillo is retired, 1 down here in the 7th. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Cliff Pennington. Pennington, who was grounded out, he's also been safe on a fielder's choice, stole a base and scored a run. He's part of that 2-run bottom half, or the top of the 5th for Stockton. That's the only 2 runs they have scored tonight. Switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-hander, of course. Again, Hawkins winds and fires a fastball in the outside corner with a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Cliff Pennington. Here's the wind in the 0-1 pitch, and a breaking ball missing inside, 1-1. We are only about 2.5 hours into this ball game, and again, just in the 7th inning right now. You would think it'd be a very high-scoring affair with the longevity of the first 6 innings, but really it's been a lot of missed opportunities for Rancho. There's a swing and a high drive, slicing down the line and left, dropping quickly, and that'll be foul. And out of play is the count 1-2 now to Pennington. Ports have also missed on a few opportunities. They left 2 on in the 5th inning when they did score 2 runs. They've left 4 on total, 1 in the first, 1 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 5th, but not nearly as much as Rancho is. They have been racking up the LOBs in almost every single inning. Left the bases loaded twice. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Hawkins, and a breaking ball up and in, misses. And 2-2 the count to Pennington. Time called as Pennington steps out of the box. Now digs right back in. Here's the wind and the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, a little nubber off the end of the bat. Found down the first base side. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the Stockton Ports switch hitting shortstop, Cliff Pennington. And here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, found back to the screen again. Still 2-2. Ports has mustered up just 6 hits here tonight. They have scattered those hits as well. Here's the 2-2. There's a swing and a drive to straightaway center field, dropping quickly, but coming in is Josh LeBlanc as he will put it away, and that'll be out number 2 in the 7th. 2 up and 2 down brings up the left fielder Cameron Coughlin, who's 0 for 2, has struck out and grounded out 2 at-bats. Coughlin almost made a great catch in left field that would have prevented the 2 runs from coming in the bottom half of the 5th inning. In a diving effort and got the glove on it, but just could not hang on. That one misses outside and 1-0 the count. It was just amazing that he even got to the baseball, as that one was coming down at such a rapid pace when he was playing fairly deep in left. But at the plate again, has had a quiet 0 for 2 tonight. Here's the 1-0. That one misses inside. And the count 2 balls and no strikes to Coughlin. And here's the wind of the 2-0 pitch. And that one misses low. 3-0. Here's the wind and the 3-0 pitch. And that one misses up and in, so a 2-out walk has been issued to Coughlin. Keeps the inning alive for Stockton, brings up top half of the order, and the right fielder, Luke Appert. And Appert with a 1 for 2. Has flown out, walked, and had an RBI single with a stolen base in his last at-bat in the 5th. Ports down but not out, trailing 5-2 in the top of the 7th inning. Just feels as if they have losing by a lot more than 3 runs with the offensive outpouring tonight from Rancho, but again with missed opportunities and a nice job stopping the bleeding a few times. Ports still just within 3, definitely a striking distance as that pitch misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. There's a pickoff throw back to the bag at first, and again getting back in there safely is Coughlin. Hawkins in the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. And a called strike at the outside corner, 1-1. On deck is Gregorio Petit. He's had a 1 for 2 himself tonight, much like Luke Appert at the plate. And from the letters, here's another pitch. Another pickoff throw back to first, and again sliding back in there safely is Coughlin. Coughlin, a lot of speed there at first. He's got 6 stolen bases in 9 attempts this season. Extra base hit would probably bring him home to score. There's another pickoff throw. And again, gets back in safely underneath the tag. Dan Hawkins doesn't look real comfortable on the mound right now. He was working quickly, but now slowing things down a little bit. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Base runner going. Gets past the catcher, and Coughlin will slide in there easily. And it'll be his 7th stolen base of the season, and he is now in scoring position at second base. Truthfully, it looked as if he would have had the stolen base regardless, but that pitch misses low and got past the catcher. So 2-1 the count to Abbott with Conklin at second and 2 outs. Port still trailing 5-2. But trying to add some runs here in the 7th inning. Here's Hawkins coming set at the letters. The 2-1 pitch. But fastball, this is high and outside. 3-1. And Coughlin again leading off the bag. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And a breaking ball misses inside. So Appert will go with a base on balls, and that'll put 2 on with 2 outs, and the tying run coming to the plate. And that will be in the man of Gregorio Petit, who has singled, grounded out, and walked. 1 for 2, and trying to turn that single into a double in the first inning was hosed at second base. Now a slow walk out to the mound, and I got to believe this is all she wrote for Hawkins, and it is. Looks like it'll be another sprint call to the bullpen. And we'll take another real quick 60-second breather here on KSTN. When we come back, all the information on the new Quakes picture right after this. A sprint call to the bullpen on 1420 KSTN.
Life can be full of risks. If you're self-employed or an individual, you already know that you take risks every day. But one thing you shouldn't take risk with is your family's health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company to get it now. If you have health insurance, call Mega and see if they can give you better coverage at a better rate. Mega helps tons of small business owners and individuals. You can reach Mega 24 hours a day at 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Don't take risks with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. Without the right health insurance plan, you could be in trouble. For affordable health insurance, call 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Home office, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not available in all states, and benefits may vary by state.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
All right, another sprint call to the bullpen in game here for the Quakes as they trying to protect that 3-run lead. Again, Rancho on top 5-2. But for Stockton, knocking on the door here with 2 on, 2 outs, and the tying run at the plate in the man of Gregorio Petit. And the new pitcher on the mound will be the right-hander, an awful long name here, Frederick De Loizaga Carney, comes in with a win-loss record of 1-2 and an ERA of 4.50. De Loizaga Carney in 17 games has 3 total saves in 28 full innings. Has given up 14 earned runs on 32 hits while striking out 21, walking 17, and batters batting .288 against him. It's a hyphenated last name again. De Loizaga Carney, new pitcher on the mound here for the Quakes. De Loizaga Carney again facing Gregorio Petit, who has singled, grounded out, and walked. So he is 1 for 2. And with 2 on, 2 out at second base is Coughlin. At first base is Appert. Quakes with 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Ports 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And here's the stretch. And the right-hander with the first pitch on the way. And a called strike in the inside corner as the count is 0-1 to Gregorio Petit. And again in the stretch, set out the letters, the 0-1 pitch. And the fastball with a called strike in the inner half. The count is quickly 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning. Ports trailing 5-2. They've been hanging around. It's been all Quakes tonight, but Ports still in striking distance. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one misses up and in, and the count 1-2. Last pitch at 70 miles an hour up and in. Breaking ball that did not break there for De Loizaga Carney. And we'll see where the catcher, Michael Collins, sets up now for the Quakes as he flashes the pitch signals. Now setting up on the outside part of the plate from the letters. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss and a good breaking ball there as that will retire the side. So, nothing doing for Stockton. They do have an opportunity to knock on the door, but they do not answer the call here in the 7th. They get no runs, hits, errors, and 2 left after a pair of 2-out walks from Hawkins. And we now head to stretch time here at the epicenter. Bottom half of the 7th inning, just 60 seconds away. It's 5-2 Quakes. Back in just a few moments here on 1420 KSDN.
Don't wait any longer. Find relief today. If you suffer from headaches, neck, or back pain, go to Quality Chiropractic. Whether you've been injured in the car, at work, or on the field, Dr. Mike Arison can help you. He specializes in whiplash, laser therapy, and lumbar disc decompression therapy. Dr. Mike doesn't use drugs or surgery. He treats the cause of your pain. Go to qualitychiropractic.net or call 957-9901. Find relief from pain today at Quality Chiropractic, 5637 North Pershing Avenue in Stockton.
Don Juan Foods is the place for all your favorite south-of-the-border treats and delicious Mexican food like tamales, burritos, and carnitas. They also carry the freshest Mexican bread and delicious Mexican pastries. You can dine in or take out, with 2 locations to serve you. 1731 Crow's Landing Road in Modesto and 2015 Mariposa Road right here in Stockton. Locally owned and operated by the Bautista family. Believe me when I say you're going to love Don Juan Foods.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports. Only on 1420 KSDN.
Well, we just finished stretch time here at the epicenter. Again, it's a 5-2 score, and this in every 7th inning stretch is brought to you in part by Quality Chiropractic. If you suffer from headaches, neck, or back pain, call Dr. Mike Arishin at 957-9901. I'll give you fast, effective relief and have you back to normal in no time at all. Also, make sure you come in today for a relaxing, therapeutic massage. That is Quality Chiropractic, 5637 North Pershing Avenue in Stockton. Well, Sullivan is going to come in to start the inning. Another inning of relief here in the 7th, and for the Quakes, that'll be 6, 7, 8. Baldazar Lopez, Drew Toussaint, and Ryan Leahy. Lopez digs in 1 for 3 with a double in the 2nd. He has also grounded out and struck out in 3 at-bats. Here's the stretch. First pitch from Sullivan is a fastball, misses inside. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Baldazar Lopez. And here's the 1-0. That one misses inside, 2-0. Quakes with 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. For the Ports, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And the 2-0 pitch, a called strike in the outside corner. And 2-1 the count. Here's the stretch. 2-1 pitch and a breaking ball. Misses low and outside. 3-1 the count to Baldazar Lopez, again making his first start in the series here for Rancho. Here's the 3-1 from Sullivan, and a fastball misses outside as a walk has been issued to start the inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder Drew Toussaint. He was 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored in the 5th. Some activity continuing to throw in the bullpen right now for the Ports. Looks like a left-hander, maybe, I believe, Heath Castle getting loose in the pen. Sullivan, I know, would like to try and finish this inning strong here. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Toussaint, and a fastball misses low and away. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Sullivan still has good zip on the fastball. That one at 89, but he's gotten over 90 a few times so far tonight. And here is the stretch and the 1-0 pitch. And a breaking ball with a called strike at the outside corner. 1-1 to count to Toussaint. Very conservative lead off the bag at first. Here's the stretch and the 1-1. A big breaking ball again. That one misses up and in. 2 balls and a strike to count. No inning has come easy for any Ports pitcher tonight with the exception of the first inning. When Ryan Webb set him down in order 1-2-3, it has been a constant struggle pitch by pitch for everyone ever since. Here's the stretch and a 2-1 pitch. Fastball swinging a ground ball to the right side. This could be two. They get the out at second, back to first. Double play. 4-6-3. Buy one, get one free. It's Petit to Pennington, back to Everidge. And just like that, 2 outs, the base is clear here in the bottom half of the 7th. And it brings up the third baseman, Ryan Leahy. Leahy has reached base safely in 3 straight plate appearances with a pair of singles in the 3rd and 4th, and also walked in the 5th. Good pitch there from Sullivan. He would go to the outside corner and chase it, and the only thing he could really do with it was ground it to the right side if his teeth was ready to turn 2. Leahy digs in with the first pitch and a called strike at the outside corner as the count is 0-1. And in the stretch from the letters, the 0-1 pitch and a breaking ball nearly grazes Leahy as he leaps out of the way, and the count even at 1-1. Tough to believe we are 3 minutes shy of the 10 o'clock hour here on the West Coast. Just in the bottom of the 7th. And there's the fastball that gets away from Sullivan, and that one will hit Leahy. So the hit by pitch will put one on with 2 outs. As it brings up the center fielder, Josh LeBlanc, who has flown out, struck out, and had a 2 RBI single in his last at bat in the 5th. Continues. I'm sure this will be the last inning for Sullivan, but again, got the double play ball when he needed it, and I'm sure he's going to just go right after LeBlanc here and not worry about the base runner at first as he's in the stretch. And the first pitch fastball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. On deck in the leadoff spot is the second baseman, Nate Sutton, who had the solo home run that really got things going for the Quakes with the blast putting the first run on the scoreboard. They eventually added many more runs on the board now with a 5-2 lead. There's a strike in the outside corner, and the count is 1-1 to LeBlanc. Sullivan looking on, coming set at the letters. The 1-1 is a fastball. This is inside, gets past the catcher. Now moving into scoring position at second is Leahy. And the count 2-1 after the wild pitch. Still 2-1 the count. And Leahy inching off the bag at second now and set at the letters. Here's a 2-1. That one misses inside. 3-1. Definitely hitter's count right here. We'll see if Sullivan just comes over the plate with something. Again, he's got the good fastball. We'll see if he can trust it and just come right over the plate. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And there it is. Called strike at the outside corner. The count running forward. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Josh LeBlanc. Yes, full count, 2 outs, 1 on. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Into this 3-game series, and it's 5-2 Quakes on top of the porch. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out of the breaking ball, and that'll retire the side here in the 7th. Or will it? No, they're going to say maybe that he got a piece of it. That's not going to take long for manager Todd Steverson to come out and argue that call. I believe they're going to say he got a piece of it on a foul tip there. Todd Steverson not happy with the decision as he is out having a few words, but the inning will continue. Now they're going to chit-chat the home plate umpire and the third base umpire as well. And would have ended the inning, but right now, again, Leahy is still at second base with a full count on Josh LeBlanc. That was a good-looking slider from Sullivan. And looks like they may stay with the foul ball call right here. Todd Steverson will have a few words about that as well. As he heads back to the dugout and can't see what he's saying, but I'm sure there's some words of sarcasm coming from Peterson, a little bit frustrated and trying to protect his pitcher here, Sullivan, who looked as if he would have gotten out of the seventh inning here with a slider and a strikeout. Here's a 3-2 payoff again, another slider as that one misses inside. And that'll put 2 on now with 2 outs. And it'll bring up top of the order, second baseman Nate Sutton. Looks like it's also going to bring another trip to the mound from Steverson, and that will be all she wrote tonight here for Brad Sullivan, as it will be a spread call to the bullpen. And we'll see who the Newport's pitcher is in just a few moments, but we'll take a 60-second breather, come back with 2 on, 2 outs, bottom half of the 7th, and it's the Quakes on top 5-2. A spread call to the bullpen. Back in just 1 moment here on 1420 KSTN.
Life can be full of risks. If you're self-employed or an individual, you already know that you take risks every day. But one thing you shouldn't take risk with is your family's health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company to get it now. If you have health insurance, call Mega and see if they can give you better coverage at a better rate. Mega helps tons of small business owners and individuals. You can reach Mega 24 hours a day at 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Don't take risks with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. Without the right health insurance plan, you could be in trouble. For affordable health insurance, call 888-228-5499. That number again is 888-228-5499. Home office, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Not available in all states, and benefits may vary by state.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports, only on 1420 KSTN.
All right, folks, we're back here on another sprint call to the bullpen. And Stockton digging pretty deep into the pen here tonight as well, as we're now 4 pitchers deep on the evening, and the new pitcher on the mound will be the left-hander Trent Peterson. Peterson coming on the mound here with 2 on, 2 outs. Last of the 7th, a 5-2 score. And it's the Quakes on top of the Stockton Ports. And Nate Sutton getting ready to dig in. We have an attendance number just coming in here at 5,095. Huge night here at the Epicenter. Well, we'll see if the Stockton Ports can keep the damage to a minimum and try to mount a late-inning comeback, as they are still in striking distance. It's 5-2, and really tough to believe that, as we are 4th pitcher deep in the ballgame and still just in the bottom half of the 7th. And Peterson, after pitching yesterday, again coming out here to pitch again tonight. At second base, Brian Leahy. At first base, Josh LeBlanc. And Sutton digs in. And Sutton with a solo home run in the 3rd. He's got a 1-for-3 going. He had a solo blast and walked in the 4th inning as well. He's also grounded out and flown out in 4 late appearances. Ports were almost out of the inning, and there was a swing and what apparently was scored a foul tip off the bat of LeBlanc. Would look like it was a swing and a miss, strike 3. As there's a breaking ball from Peterson, misses low and outside. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to Nate Sutton. Well, the inning continues as the walk issued to LeBlanc, and that's what's brought Peterson in. Here's the 1-0. And a fastball misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Tough to believe, about a week and a half ago, Stockton Ports were leading the California League with fewest walks. Here's the 2-0. There's a swing at a high fly ball slicing down the left field line. Racing over there is Conlin, and he is going to run out of real estate as that finds its way into the seats and out of play. And the count 2-1 now to Nate Sutton. That ball just continued to carry and just found its way past the outstretched glove of Conlin in the second row. And the 2-1 count. We'll see what Peterson comes back with. This is a lefty-on-lefty matchup, which always favors Trent Peterson, who does a nice job against the southpaws. And here's the stretch. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball to the left side. This should be out number 3, and Pennington will flip over to the bag at second to get the force play on the 6-4, and does, and that will retire the side here in the 7th. A long inning But the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes still do not score a run. They get no runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base as we now head to the eighth. We threw 7 now. In the eighth inning, it's 5-2. Rancho on top of the Stockton Ports, and back in just a few moments for the eighth inning here on 1420 KSTN.
Hey fans, this Memorial Day weekend, plan a getaway right in your own backyard. Come visit Mickey Grove Regional Park and Zoo. Mickey Grove features something for everyone, like Mickey Grove Zoo, Funtown at Mickey Grove Amusement Park, County Historical Museum, Japanese Gardens, rental facilities, and much more. Log on to mgzoo.com and sanjoaquinhistory.org for upcoming events or more information. Mickey Grove Regional Park and Zoo, located in Lodi on North Mickey Grove Road.
Charterway Tow, a towing company serving the area with friendly, fair, and prompt response. Charterway Tow, the company to know when you need a tow. Use Charterway Tow for your cars, trucks, and RVs 24 hours a day. Your friends at Charterway Tow are experts in all phases of towing and recovery, anytime, anywhere. From lockouts and jump starts to your most demanding towing needs, call 209-948-8500. That's Charterway Tow, located in Stockton at 1234 South Aurora Street.
You are listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports. Only on 1420 KSTN.
We're through 7 as we head to the 8th. It's 5-2. Quakes on top of the Stockton Ports. For a few minutes north of the 10 o'clock hour now here on the West Coast on 1420 AM KSTN Stockton. Again on the mound for another inning of work is Loizaga Carney. Yes, that is just his last name, hyphenated last name. But Frederick Loizaga Carney, again in the second inning of work, and here in the 8th for the Stockton Ports, it'll be 3-4-5. Richie Robnett, Tommy Everidge, and Myron Leslie to face the right-hander. And here's the whine of the first pitch. That one misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Richie Robnett. And the whine of the 1-0 from the right-hander, liking to work quickly here. And there's a called strike in the outside corner, 1-1. Line score for the Quakes, 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Ports. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. And here's the whine of the 1-1. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball in the inside corner. The count is quickly 1-2. And De La Zaga Carney in the whine. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a swing and a foul ball back to the screen. Still 1-2 the count. The right-hander with a very quick motion. And that one clocked at 89, but looks like it's coming in a lot quicker than that as he is fierce in his delivery with a high leg kick and a quick motion. There's a 1-2 pitch and a called strike 3 on the inside corner. He struck him out. As Robin will go down looking, that'll be 1 down here in the 8th. And it brings up the first baseman, Tommy Everidge, who has struck out and flown out twice. He's 0 for 3. Everidge seemed to have come up with at least 1 big hit in every game in the road trip, and again had the big double and eventually scored the 1 and only run last night. We'll see if he gets something here late in the ballgame tonight. There's a swing and a drive to left center field, but that one playable for LeBlanc, who drifts about 3 steps over to his right to make the catch and puts it away quickly. 2 up and 2 down here in the 8th. As that'll bring up third baseman Myron Leslie. And Leslie, who has flown out, grounded out twice. Switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-hander. He digs in as De Loizaga Carney winds and fires. First pitch, there's a swing and a ground ball to the shortstop, taken on a tough hop, but recovered nicely there, and a good scoop at first from Lopez, but he could not hang on. Safe at first will be Leslie. And that'll be scored in E6 there on shortstop Sean Rodriguez. Made a nice recovery there on the tough bounce. Then a low throw, and Lopez looked like he was going to scoop it right out of the dirt, but could not hang on. from the low throw. So an E6 to Rodriguez and a two-out base runner will bring up the DH, John McCurdy. Here's McCurdy with a single in the second, also singled and scored in the fifth, and struck out swinging in the sixth. And here's the stretch from the letters. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and drilled to right center field, and racing over there again is LeBlanc on his high horse. As he makes the catch, puts it away, and McCurdy retired. So are the Stockton Forts here in the eighth inning. As they get no runs, hits, one error, and one man left. We head to the last of the eighth. Some insurance maybe for the Quakes, but we'll see if Forts can keep it in striking distance. Back in just a few moments for the last of the eighth here on 1420 KSTN.
Universal Sounds Entertainment presents the 13th annual Back to Graffiti Concert and Car Show at the Fruit Yard Festival Grounds in Modesto, June 10th from noon to 8 p.m. featuring The Flatter. Ticketmaster.com and all Ticketmaster locations. Also available at the Fruit Yard Restaurant, Tower and Warehouse Records. General tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door. Preferred VIP seating tickets are $45 while they last. Sponsored by Centrix Homes, Corona Beer, Black Oak Casino, Coors Brewing Company, Brendan Theaters, and the Valley Views Magazine. It's the 13th annual Back to Graffiti Concert and Car Show at the Fruit Yard, June 10th.
Officer Adrian Quintero from the California High Patrol would like to remind you, please slow down, allow yourself some time to arrive to your destination, buckle up for your safety, and please don't drink and drive this Memorial Day weekend. On behalf of the California Highway Patrol and KSTN, enjoy your holiday weekend. Thank you.
You are listening to live play-by-play coverage of the 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
Epicenter in Rancho, Cucamonga. It's 5-2 Quakes on top of the Ports as Trent Peterson on the mound for another inning of work here in relief. He is again the fourth pitcher of the night. He comes in after Ryan Webb, Brad Davis, and Brad Sullivan. And for Peterson here in the eighth, he will be facing Cliff Remley, Sean Rodriguez, and Michael Collins. Cliff Remley will lead things off in the 2-0. So 2-3-4 trip to the order here in the eighth inning for the Quakes. Rancho with 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Stockton Ports, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Remley was flown out. He's walked and scored. He's also singled and grounded out in his last at bat in the sixth. Stone Peterson ready to dig in here. Remley looks in, and Trent Peterson also getting the signs from his catcher, Castillo. Now coming set. First pitch on the way, a fastball. And a called strike in the inside corners. The count is 0-1 to Cliff Remley. And here's the 0-1 pitch. Called strike at the outside corner. Quickly 0-2 the count. Peterson always goes up there throwing strikes. Hits both sides of the plate nicely. Won't light up the radar gun with more than 87 or 88, but that pitch definitely the breaking ball. That one misses low as the count 1-2. Curveball there coming in at 57 miles an hour. One ball and 2 strikes to Cliff Remley. Again, was white hot coming into this series for Rancho. Batting at a clip of close to 500 in his past 5 games. Here's the 1-2 pitch as the breaking ball misses outside. And the count 1-2 down to Remley. Quakes have scored 2 in the third, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and a drive to deep right center field. Backtracking to the warning track. It's a one-hopper off the wall. Effort has it and then drops it. He's going to fire it back in. Now at second, heading down for 3. And getting in there safely will be Cliff Remley as he starts things off here in the 8th inning. With a triple, and he's now 90 feet away. Thing bounced off the wall in right center field, and again did not miss a home run by much. So 90 feet away here with no outs, as that brings up the shortstop Sean Rodriguez, who has flown out singles, flown out, and tripled. 2 for 4 on the night. So Rodriguez digging in as Peterson now on the stretch. As he gets the signs from the catcher Castillo, now coming set at the belt and the pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and popped up. This one probably deep enough to score the run. Coming in is Appert. We'll see if they test his arm. No, they won't. And good thing, too, a good throw there from Appert, and staying put at third base will be Remley, so no sac fly opportunity there. And that'll be one down here in the 8th, and the catcher Collins now digging in. Collins in a 2 for 4, has reached base 3 times. He also had an RBI single with a stolen base in the 3rd. Singled and scored in the 5th, was hit by a pitch in the 6th. That was after grounding out in his first at bat in the 2nd. This is a messy scorebook when you look at what Rancho has done with the plethora of base runners that they have had all night long. And again, the left on base for them is going to be huge before this game is over. They're up to 11 right now and counting. First pitch on the way, a curveball. And a called strike in the inside corner. 0-1 the count. Again with a runner at third and one down. All the Stockton Port infielders playing right on top of the grass. Now Peterson set the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a hot shot up the middle. Underneath the glove of Peterson in the center, and that's going to bring home another run. That is just the way that it's gone tonight for the Ports. Peterson almost scooped that one up, but underneath his glove in the center field is Collins with an RBI single. Third hit of the ball game for him. As Remley scores, it's now 6-3. You almost get the feeling the Ports just kind of dying a slow death here tonight, as they just have not had lady luck in their corner. So Pat Riley ready to dig in from the left side. Grounded out, walked, and struck out twice. And here in the stretch and from the belt, the pitch. And a fastball with a called strike at the outside corner. The count is 0-1 to Pat Riley. And now set at the belt. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Tried another fastball outside and misses 1-1. That was the 6th run and 13th hit of the ball game for Rancho. And we've seen the opposition put up numbers like that at some point, but also the offense has been able to match that in the past 5, 6, 7 games for the Stockton Ports. Not so much tonight. That one misses outside, 1-2 the count to Riley. And the Ports with 2 runs on 6 hits, and they've really struggled to get those 6 hits tonight. From the belt, the 1-2 pitch. There's a swing and a foul ball. Third base side will find its way into the seats. Still 1-2 the count to Pat Riley. Peterson shaking off the signs from the catcher. Now gets one he likes in front of the belt, the 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. A good fastball went upstairs with it and blew it right past him. And that'll be out number 2. So 1 on, 2 outs here in the 8th, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Baldazar Lopez. Lopez and a 1-for-3 night has reached base safely twice with a double in the 2nd and a walk in the 7th. He's also grounded out and struck out in 4 at-bats. Or 3 official at-bats, I should say, in 4 total plate appearances. Here's the stretch and the pitch. And a fastball with a called strike in the outside corner. And the count is 0-1 on Baldazar Lopez. Batting from the left side, another lefty-on-lefty matchup. You'd think this lineup would really favor Peterson. And again, he's done well in relief. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And the breaking ball misses low and outside, 1-1. And you take a look at the stats for Peterson against the left-handed batters this year. It was a 1-1 pitch with a called strike in the outside corner, now 1-2. Again, he comes in to face mostly lefties. Numbers really not as good as you would think. He has given up a total of 10 earned runs this season against left-handed batters. Now 11 after the one here tonight. Here's the stretch and the 1-2. There's a swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts as that will end the 8th inning for the Quakes, but they do add some insurance as they score 1 run. They do it on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left as we are now through 8 and we head to the 9th. Do-or-die time for the Stockton Porch. They trail 6-2, and they've got some ground to cover, and we'll find out if they can make it happen as the play-by-play story unfolds in just 60 seconds here on 1420 KSTN.
An advantage in sports is playing in front of the hometown crowd. The next time you're looking to buy or sell a home, you can get that same home team advantage. Just call Coldwell Banker Groupie Real Estate. As a local company, nobody knows the area better than we do. Whether it's residential or investment properties, put our experience to work for you.
Find Coldwell Banker Groupie Real Estate in the Yellow Pages and online at cbgroupie.com. Coldwell Banker Groupie Real Estate, the best addresses in town for over 30 years.
Who says concrete has to be boring?
Not us. We're Creative Services, and we believe concrete has unlimited potential. We specialize in artistic, residential, and commercial concrete, including concrete staining and stamping. In fact, we can custom build or restore just about any piece you need, no matter how large or small. For service throughout the area and the quality you deserve, call and see what we can do. We're Creative Services. You can reach us at 209-943-2960. That's Creative Services at 209-943-2960.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports with Bo Fulgenetti and Zach Beirudi on 1420 KSTN.
To the top of the 9th inning we go. It's 6-2 Quakes on top of the Stockton Ports. New pitcher on the mound for Rancho here in the top half of the 9th. It will be the right-hander. We'll talk more about it in just a moment. It will be Anthony Ortega. And for the Stockton Ports here in the top of the 9th inning, again trailing 6-2. They've got some ground to cover. It'll be 7, 8, 9 to start things off. Castillo, Pennington, and Coughlin. As for Ortega, comes in with a win-loss record of 0-1 and ERA at 3.18. Now in his 4th appearance of the season. In 5 2/3 innings of work, he has given up 2 earned runs on 6 hits, striking out a total of 4, walking 4, and batters batting .273 against him. So again, David Castillo to lead things off, a 1-for-3 tonight with an RBI single in the 5th, knocking in one of just 2 runs for the Ports in that inning and so far in total in the game. And as the Quakes have been able to muster up 6 runs on 13 hits with 1 error. Stockton Ports 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Tough to believe we are 23 minutes into the 10 o'clock hour here in the West Coast on 1420 AM KSTN Stockton. And again, you would think when you get now 3.5 hours into a ball game that it could be a blowout. But again, it's just been an interesting game where Rancho has threatened every single inning. The Ports have been able to get out of a lot of trouble, and there's been a few spots where Rancho has been able to answer the call. And tough to believe Ports are still within arm's length at 6-2. But it's do-or-die time right now in the 9th. So Castillo will dig in. It's been a long night for him behind the plate. Let's see if he can get on base, keep folks alive here for the Ports. Here's the wind and the pitch. And the fastball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count to David Castillo. And now on the wind, the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and chopped foul right off the face mask of Michael Collins. And the count even at 1-1. Every time is called as Collins will head out there to talk with the pitcher briefly. Again, Ortega is the 4th pitcher of the night as well for Rancho as Fernando Rodriguez got the start. And Dan Hawkins coming in for 2. And Frederick De Luizaga Carney also pitching frame as well as Ortega trying to finish things up here in the 9th. And the conference on the mound been broken up there. Castillo steps out of the box and fixes the batting gloves, ready to dig right back in. On deck is the switch-hitting shortstop, Cliff Pennington. He's also scored the second of 2 runs tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. A good pitch on the inside corner there. The count 1-2 to Castillo. That one hit at 92 miles an hour. Tough to get the fist in to try to fight one off when it comes in there at 92. Here's Ortega now quickly back in the line. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And the breaking ball misses low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Castillo patient at the plate tonight, and of course behind the plate, knowing full well the strike zone a little bit smaller than it's been in recent ball games. And time called again as Castillo digs out. Ortega working much slower than Eloy Carney did. Now in the wind, here's the kick in the 2-2. Shot another fastball in the outside corner and misses. Has the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Castillo. And finally, here's a line and a 3-2 payoff pitch. And a called strike 3 on the outside corner. That's got to really frustrate Castillo because as the catcher tonight, he has really not gotten that call for his pitcher, but he will go down looking for 1 down here in the 9th. First strikeout for Ortega, and that'll bring up the shortstop Pennington again, who has grounded out. Scored a run on a fielder's choice of stolen base in the 5th and also flown out in the 7th, so 0 for 3, but again has scored one of just 2 runs for the Stockton Ports tonight. First pitch swung on and popped up. That one down the third base line and fair foul ground and playable on a basket catch there for Ryan Leahy as he will put it away for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Cameron Coughlin. And Coughlin again digs in. Here's the wind and the first pitch on the way, and that one misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Coughlin is struck out, grounded out, also walked, stole a base, and was stranded in the 7th. Ports down to their final out here in Game 2. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Here's a swing and a foul ball. Third base side will find its way into the seats, and the count even at 1-1. Really had a feeling the way the game started, it would be a much different outcome. As again, it was a real quick first inning for both sides. You thought maybe we'd see another pitcher's duel tonight, which we saw last night, but not the case. Here's the wind and the 1-1 pitch, and a fastball misses inside, 2-1. On deck, should he make it to the plate, it'll be the right fielder, Luke Appert. And here's the wind and the 2-1. Here's a swing and a fly ball, left center field, dropping quickly, but racing over there is Drew Toussaint as he will make the catch, put it away, and that will retire the side and the inning and end the game. As the Stockton Ports drop the second straight here at the epicenter as Quakes winners by a final score of 6-2. Again, things did not go the way Ports pitchers hoped that it would tonight. It's a situation where Ports pitchers did not seem comfortable at all from start to finish. And, well, just chalk this one up as a loss and try to come out tomorrow strong to finish the road trip on a high note as they cannot win the series now as the Quakes have clinched a series victory, winning the first 2 of this 3-game set. But maybe brighter days will be ahead. We'll take a real quick 90-second breather, I should say. Then we'll come back to the post-game show and wrap things up again. Quakes victorious by a final score of 6-2, and we are back in just just a few moments, 90 seconds away from postgame live here on 1420 KSDN.
Thinking of buying a home or refinancing? At Ability Mortgage, we know what it takes to meet all of your home loan needs. Whether you're a first-time buyer or you're refinancing, our creative loan consultants offer the best terms and unsurpassed professional service. We ensure you get the loan that best fits your needs. Again, fans, we're Ability Mortgage. Give us a call at 209-825-0222 or find us online at abilitymortgage.com.
Ability Mortgage, putting you first. Pioneer Radio and Sports would like to thank the following businesses who are committed to customer service.
This sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Blue Lagoon, Custom Pool and Spa. By the Stockton Injury Center for complete spinal care and rehabilitation. By Elaine Martinez of Keller Williams. Real estate is not my job, it's my pleasure. By David's Pizza, best pizza in town. And by Dave's Towing Service, celebrating their 25th anniversary.
You're listening to live play-by-play coverage of a 2006 Stockton Ports. Only on 1420 KSDN.
We are back. Stockton Ports postgame live from the press box of the Epicenter in Rancho, Cucamonga, California, where it was all Quakes tonight. Winners here in Game 2 by a final score of 6-2. And really for people tuning in late or looking at the box score tomorrow in the newspaper, really won't get the gist of this ball game, and really how it was not as close as a 4-run game would indicate. Is the Quakes had chances all night long. They only took advantage of a few of those opportunities. But Rancho leaving base runners on in almost every single inning. In fact, every inning but the first and the sixth. But still taking advantage in the third inning as we kind of take you through the ball game here. They took the first lead of Game 2 on a solo home run from Nate Sutton. Followed up by a walk from Rimley. He eventually scored on the RBI single from Michael Collins, and that was quickly 2-0. Rancho after 3 full. Stockton Ports were trying to climb back in the fifth, and they did as they tied things up. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits. John McCurdy got aboard with a single, then it was Castillo with an RBI base hit. And then with the fielder's choice, put Pennington on. A couple of big hits, including a shot from Luke Appert. Brought 2 runs home with 3 hits again in that inning and tied things up at 2 apiece. And after that, in the bottom half of the fifth, it didn't stay that way for long as Rancho added 2 more on 3 hits of their own. That capped off by a 2 RBI single from Josh LeBlanc. And that was pretty much as close as the Ports would get the rest of the way, as Rancho would again score 1 in the 6th on a triple from Rodriguez, who eventually scored after a wild pitch. And then in the 8th inning, a triple from Rimley. He'd score the RBI single from Michael Collins. And that made it a 6-2 final in Stockton. A tough time throwing strikes tonight as they went 4 deep into the bullpen. They went Ryan Webb, who reached 3 in the 3rd innings of work, taking a loss here tonight. Brad Davis, Brad Sullivan, then Trent Peterson. And the Quakes as well also went 4 deep pitching-wise as they started out with Fernando Rodriguez, who gets the win, and Dan Hawkins and Frederick Dulazaga-Carney, and then Anthony Ortega closing things out in the end. As the line score here in the ballgame, in Game 2, in a winning effort for the Quakes, they scored 6 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. In a losing effort, the Ports with 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The win again goes to Rodriguez. He improves to 5-2. Loss goes to Webb. He drops to 2-4. And for the Stockton Ports, with the loss tonight, they drop to 23-26. They've now lost 3 in a row, dating back to the series finale against Lancaster 2 nights ago. And after that heartbreaker, things have not gotten any better for Stockton. Rancho, they improved to 26-23 and still very much in the thick of things in the Cal League South as we head to the series finale tomorrow. Speaking of the series finale tomorrow for the Stockton Ports, again, on the mound in the finale will be the right-hander Michael Rogers. Rogers coming in with a win-loss record of 4-2 and an ERA at 3.67. He'll be opposed by the left-hander Micah Posey. Posey at 1-4 with an ERA of 4.89. I would break caution once again. It will be a tape-delay broadcast tomorrow following University of Pacific baseball as they round down their season. So make sure you log on or tune in to 1420 after the final pitch of UOP, which is a 105 start for them. We will be joining directly after that with a tape-delay broadcast finishing up Game 3 of this 3-game series. Well, real quickly, we're going to have our Solstice Mortgage Player of the Game honors. And taking a look here at the box score, really don't know who to give this one. So I guess we'll give this one to John McCurdy in a 2-for-4. scored one of just the 2 runs for the Stockton Ports tonight. Also did a nice job as well advancing on the wild pitch and getting in scoring position for scoring the first of 2 runs. So John McCurdy is tonight's Solstice Mortgage Player of the Game, brought to you by Solstice Mortgage, your local lender with 2 convenient locations in Lodi and Stockton. They, of course, remind you that when you are in scoring position for that new dream house, let Solstice Mortgage step up to the plate and bring you home. That is Solstice Mortgage, proud sponsors of your 2006 Stockton Ports. Well, as the fireworks go off here at the Epicenter, I think it's time for me to sign off from the broadcast booth. Again, thank you so much for being with us here on a Saturday night in Rancho. Sorry we didn't have better news for you, but again, your final score for the final time, the Quakes 6, the Ports 2. Again, we'll be on a tape delay tomorrow after UOP baseball, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And until then, this is Bo Fulton coasting into my final port and dropping anchor for the night. Take care, have a pleasant evening, and so long from the Epicenter at Rancho Cucamonga.